Gather round, we got no gods to please. Saturday night, no sermons, just ease. Discussions flow like midnight breeze. No prophets here, just minds to tease. We talk Big Bangs and evolution, question faith with our solution. Stars align in our confusion, breaking free from old illusion. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers. Open hearts and swift deceivers. Make a stand, no hidden levers. Raise your glass to reason's thrill. No ancient text, it's our own will. Debate till dawn, feel dull and chill. Saturday night, we've got the skill. Echoes of a godless choir, like the world we spark the fire. Free thought mindset to inspire. No holy walls to take us higher. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers.
Greetings. Welcome to the Captive Desk and another Saturday night at the Atheists. And I'm joined by some fellow atheists. We've got Scott Duke, we've got Brainless, we've got Joe, and we've got Mike. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, happy to be here.
Hello.
Yeah.
And we've got folks in the chat, including Stephanie Helms. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And before we get started, I wanted to wish Mike a happy birthday. Mike had a birthday this week.
I did.
And were you like 42, 43?
No, I mean 27,030 it was. So
27,030. All right.
yeah. Yep, I remember the dinosaurs.
And
Right after they got off the ark.
yeah, you were there, right?
We used to hunt dinosaurs. Like we go dinosaur hunting with the dad, with my dad. Yeah. Bring home a dinosaur, dress it up, and make bacon, shit like that.
Well, we want to kick things off right here, so we got a little happy birthday song for Mike, so y'all have to tolerate it for a minute.
Oh no.
And here we go.
Twinkling candles on the cake. Mike's old age ain't no mistake. Popped another year like, oh, what gives? Yet he's dancing like he's 25. Hey, Mike, it's your birthday, dude. Didn't know age could be so crude. Laugh those wrinkles off your face. Welcome to the senior race. Once a kid, now a weathered champ. 30-something calls for a loud stamp. He wears socks pulled up to his knees. Still thinks he's cool, but where are his keys? Hey Mike, It's your birthday, mate. All those candles, quite the wait. Blow them out and wish real fast before you need a nap at last. Mike's got stories that are truly gold. Some are new, but most are old. Laugh along with shots of juice. Don't spill on that shirt, it's his only excuse. Hey Mike, another year's gone by. Blink twice and tell us all a lie. Pretend you're young and full of zest, 'cause you're still the very best. Hey Mike, another year's gone by. Blink twice and tell us all a lie. Pretend you're young and full of zest, 'cause you're still the very best.
Oh my God, that's the best ever, Dave. Thanks.
I've got a question,
nice.
Mike.
Hey, happy birthday, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, happy fucking birthday.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Mike. Happy birthday first, but when you get to be your age, do you still put candles on the cake, or do you just set the goddamn thing on fire?
You just eat the goddamn thing. Yeah, you may as well set it on fire.
Yes, yes, that was a AI song, Icarus.
That's pretty good.
I played around with it a little bit, you know, and
They emptied 4 oil wells for the energy to make that song.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be scolded for it, and forgive me for the energy consumption it took to make that song, but I felt it was well worth it. From go ahead and get it, Mike. And yeah, I heard Breed talking about it this morning, and
Oh, get bent. Use technology to do technology things. Come on now.
Yeah.
We're being a little
I think we should all use it just a little more efficiently and wisely. Let's say. How about that? So, hello, Chris. How you doing? Logan. Hello. And hello to Icarus too as well. Yeah. So I know Mike's already irritated with the video we're going to look at tonight, and a little introduction. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
That
Oh, okay.
was already annoyed.
Yeah. We're going to be looking at some apologetics lessons because, hey, Phantom, how you doing? We should, we should know this stuff, right? So, this isn't the first time we've had an apologetics lesson here at Saturday Night at the Atheist, and it probably won't be the last because there's a lot of them out there. So, but this guy caught my eye. Very friendly, smiling bow tie and everything, and apologetics. It was too much to pass up. So we're going to be taking a look at. I was calling him Mr. Bowtie, but with all due respect, his name is Professor Gary Locklear. He's a PhD. He's a professor and chair of computer science. He has a computer science degree from Nova Southeastern University, and he teaches at Concordia University, Wisconsin, also known as Concordia Bible Institute.
That's not an accredited school, is it?
It is an accredited school. I looked it up. That's my little side note here. Accredited. So it is an accredited school.
Computer science from Ohio University. So I'm interested to hear his thought process.
It seems they have a nursing.
It can still be accredited, yet also be theological or religious, and you have.
Oh, sure.
pastors have to sign a statement of faith, and that's the kind of thing I also want to know about.
I just thought Concordia was one of those online only schools, is what I was thinking.
It has some kind of a nursing program. I noticed. I didn't look deeply, but I did look up to see if it was accredited or not. So,
Yeah.
but I did notice something about a nursing school. So,
I mean, as long as it's accredited, great. You know, like,
yeah,
I'm
Yep.
glad he's teaching there. I mean, really, at these other diploma mill places, they don't really teach anyway. So, you know, I'm glad he's doing that at least.
We're not meeting a week.
Whoops.
what he's teaching exactly is kind of
Right.
Mike and I were trying to figure it out. We're not sure. Like he's got a Bible computer programmer. So I'm not sure. We're a little confused. We're gonna have to probably revisit and take a little investigation, because he's got a whole bunch of videos and we really
Let me
haven't
get in on
sorted them
that.
out yet. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm interested to see how he's. We'll talk about it later, but I'm just interested to see how he does that, because they don't work together really.
Yeah,
I didn't really get into that. Mike noticed it. I noticed because he was given the Apologetics. This is a series that he has. We're not going to watch all of them because they're pretty long. But
From what I read, as near as I could tell, he was in the private sector for a few years, and then he decided to go teach at this university because it allowed him to combine his computer science with God. And that would probably explain these weird slides he's got for his computer science lectures. I'm really, really concerned.
So let me just say what the thing that's on my mind whenever you say that is that computer science is it's a very logic based course. Like it's
right.
A lot of the work is about flow charts and like taking each logical step one at a time, like getting into the metadata of logical steps, even unless you go into like the database stuff, and that's a little different. But like, I don't know how incorporating religion into that even like makes sense in that context.
Well,
so that's why I'm kind of interested in seeing that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can show you. Take a look at this slide right here. That is one of the slides from his CSC 222, day 28, right? That's one of his slides for the computer class. God the Father, idea. I don't know how this. He's teaching C#, I think, but I'm not sure how this plays in. But anyway,
yeah, what's the Trinity have to do with C#?
I don't know.
I say we're a little confused, and we haven't really looked into it. So we're just gonna say we're confused for the moment.
I learned C in computer science programming in the 200 and 300 level programming classes. So, I mean, I should be familiar with what he's trying to teach, because I mean, I'm just interested in how he's going to be effective by doing stuff like that. Like, to me, it seems like they should probably take his license.
Hello, Rochelle.
We'll see.
And Chris, if I didn't say hey to Chris, hey Chris. Yeah, so it interesting fellow. Again, what caught my eye was the apologetics lessons, because I was looking around, and that was one of the key words. So I told Mike, while looking around, he's got a lot of videos. So yeah, we can, we can all take a look at it and see what we can do about his other thing. I told Mike, and it didn't come to mind, but you too, Joe, you both have more of the computer background.
Well, I could
see what he's talking about there.
I have the hours to where I could actually teach a C# programming class in a college. I'm not a professor, obviously. I don't have a PhD, but that's not required to teach that. Even unless the university itself is like only PhD professors, there's places that do that. But I could actually teach that. So I'm interested in his. I don't know. I take special interest in it for that reason, because it's not too often that these apologists and things that it crosses over into something that I actually do have a little bit of specialty in.
His link is in the description, so if you just click it and follow it back to his channel, you'll see.
I'll check him out.
Yeah, all kinds of things say something about his computer lessons or whatever. So, interesting channel, and this is a small channel, and please, as always, don't bother any of these folks or anything. We don't make anything personal here, and we ask everybody else not to do it either. This is just some friendly review, and as always, what was his name right again? If Gary Locklear ever wants to talk to us, he's welcome to talk to us. So, with that, hello, Demon Orb. Good to see you.
Hey, Dorby.
With that being said, let's pull up the professor here and see what he has to say.
Welcome, everyone. Good morning. It's great to see you. This is a Bible study on creation apologetics. I'm Professor Gary Locklear, and I'm glad you're here. This is session 1.
Just for disclosure, he, instead of saying a prayer, he talks through a hymn. He doesn't sing it. And I skipped that, and I did in the other video. If we get to the other video I have of him. Other than that, I let it go. But I did cut that out because it's kind of like his opening prayer thing or whatever. So. And then he's going to dive right in. All right.
An overview of the whole idea of creation apologetics. When you hear the word apologetics, what do you think of? You think of
Assholes.
Liars.
We don't have a high opinion of him here. Chat, what do you think of apologetics?
Yeah.
When I hear apologetics, hermeneutics, any of these things, I always think back to, didn't you tell me the Bible is clear? God's word is clear? Something like that, right? And then you need hermeneutics and apologetics and 50 books from this person and that person to explain what the Bible's really trying to say to you.
Well, like the thing that I think is like, why do you need to apologize for it? What you got apologizing for?
Yeah, the word
For being a fucking asshole?
That's one of the things they always come out with is, before anybody says anything, we're not apologizing. It's a defense of the faith. It's explaining things.
Yeah, when I first heard about apologetics, I listened to him for like a half an hour waiting for him to apologize. They never did.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I had to go look it up.
See, you fall for these things,
Yeah.
you don't know, and then you get clickbaited right in, don't you?
Yeah.
apologizing? Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually not what apologetic means. But it does remind me of an email message that I got recently. It was from the Nigerian Olympic team. The email said, "We're very sorry for our poor performance in the past Olympics, and we'd like to refund anyone who purchased tickets to watch us. Please just supply me your bank account information and we'll get right on that."
Oh,
That's not funny, and that has nothing to do with the
It is funny. Shut up. It is.
it is.
He's trying. He's
It
trying.
was funny in 2005.
That's probably the best joke that I've heard of all of them that he gives here. It gets worse. Don't trust me.
We're going to be learning a couple different important concepts throughout these 8 weeks. Certainly the idea of creation, what I like to call the doctrine of creation.
Hey, can I get a quick
Creation.
clarification?
Yep.
Is this a computer science lecture or a apologetics lecture?
No, it's apologetics. This is lesson 1.
Okay, all right, just clarifying.
Is a model, an idea of origins. How did everything get here? And then the concept of apologetics. Let's investigate that concept of apologetics in the context of creation a little more clearly. But what I'd like to do, excuse me, what I'd like to do up front, before we even get into the outline today, is tell you these are the important parts, the important points that I hope you'll take away from today's session.
Okay, usually, yeah, I put these things in my little desk image, but because he had his little notes and everything, when I did that, it kind of blurred the text. So I hope everybody can see the text at least a little bit decently.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's good.
And that's why I left it as is like this. So, but yeah, he's gonna have his little. Yeah, he's gonna have his little notes and stuff up here in that, so you can
Creation is reasonable.
follow along.
Natural origins is foolish. Oh, that's all you need to know.
There you go.
This is this is awful already.
Get your notepads. Get your notepads ready. Okay.
But should we wait until he reads these off before we address?
There may be a quiz. You never know. So be prepared.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Key point. Number 1, you'll hear this every time we meet. Creation is reasonable.
No, it isn't.
No.
Okay.
You got to
Well,
keep telling yourself that. That's why you're here at every session.
it's reasonable if anything is reasonable, so called, if you're going to go into the supernatural, right? That's what I said often is, this and that, whatever, from an apologist about their God and stuff. And I said, well, then you're just opening up the supernatural. And if you open up the supernatural, then you can have anything. The rules are out the window. You can have a billion gods. You can have any kind of demigods, spirits, angels, whatever you want to call them. You can make up things along with Bigfoot. Prove Bigfoot didn't do it, right?
I agree. As an apologist,
Sure.
you could do those things, but
Yeah.
teaching people apologetics, that whenever you're asking the question of what is reasonable, there's techniques and ways to address that question.
Yeah.
And there's ways to suggest that that's a coherent thing to say, and he can't do that. This is a lie, and it's also kind of like poisoning the well a little bit, but we'll get there.
Oh, he does that a lot.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You won't be disappointed.
Creation is a reasonable idea for origins, in spite of what the media or friends or scientists or others might say.
In spite of what almost everyone else says, including everybody that works in the field, overwhelmingly do not listen to them. Okay, this is
Don't
lesson
listen to
1.
Scientists. Never listen to scientists, man.
That was our mistake. That was our mistake. We paid attention to the science class, and we shouldn't have.
Yeah, don't listen to the smart people. Listen to the dumb people.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, there was a nice article in the Smithsonian, and this was when I was a Christian, but for some reason, I was reading the Smithsonian magazine, and it talked about the environment of a particular dinosaur whose fossil they had just discovered. And it not only did it say, what the environment was like, but just mentioned in passing, just about every other sentence, why they thought the environment was like that. And it made such damn sense, because certain rocks are gonna form a certain way.
No fucking
Shallow, warm ponds are going to have one kind of sediment, and others aren't. I say ponds, shallow oceans or whatever. And it just made so much sense. And that's when I went from being a creationist to a theistic evolutionist. And a few iterations later, after I had deconstructed, I said, "Fuck it, I'm just an evolutionist."
Yeah.
So it's science is reasonable. Creationism is let's make up a story, that seems plausible to people who don't know, and so they'll believe what I'm saying, and that's what creationism is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Commander. I see Commander in the chat.
What's up,
Commander? Always saluting the commander.
I'm eager for him to read this next line.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Creation is a reasonable explanation for origins. Natural origins, to begin things naturally, that's foolish.
Okay.
Now, be careful.
There you go. I told you you wouldn't be disappointed.
So here's the thing. What that implies, so natural, that's everything that we observe and see, and we all agree that natural things exist and we can observe the natural world, right? So by saying that it's foolish implies that the supernatural is not foolish. Everything that he claims is outside of that, which we have no evidence is a thing or exists or any of that. Now, sure, you can make some arguments that the supernatural is at least a coherent idea, but that doesn't show that it's a thing. By calling it foolish, this is purely to poison the well. This isn't. It holds no value as a statement in any other way.
Yep.
Hello, dog. How you doing?
Hey, Doug.
And if you think I'm being too critical, this is a person.
Oh, we just got started.
Well, this is a person claiming to teach. He's teaching a class to people. Like
Yes.
So I'm going to be extra critical of everything he says. I mean, this is awful.
I'm using that term hopefully precisely in a biblical way. Foolish. Creation by God, supernaturally, that's reasonable.
Okay.
It doesn't even sound good, does it?
Is he serious?
Yeah.
This is like, okay, when I was a little boy, Mom came home and my face was smeared with chocolate and there were cookie crumbs all over and the cookies were gone. My mom was like, got all irritated with me, and it's like, wait, Mom, there's a supernatural explanation for this, and she didn't buy it.
Nope.
And then you went and watched Abraham Lincoln speak.
Yeah. It's just,
I'm just joking.
I mean,
Mark.
you can evoke a supernatural explanation for anything, and it's full stop. Something supernatural happened. There's a tree falls over in the forest. Well, a spirit pushed it over. I mean, why don't they get that part? That you're not really saying anything when you say it was magic.
Once you invoke magic, it's really like, what are we talking about here? Because then it's whatever you want to make up.
Whatever you want to make up. Exactly.
That's why I always compare creationism to like somebody, like I woke up today and just invented some kind of blue unicorn and decided it was God and told everybody that was the truth. Like, they might as well have just woke up and made the shit up today, because it doesn't matter what you say. You're going to say it's reasonable because everything's possible if you're invoking supernatural and miracles and such.
Yeah. I asked ChatGPT to come up with a fictional story that accounted for logic and reason and the orderliness in the universe, and it came up with some amazing shit. Maybe we'll look at it later, but anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You can use ChatGPT to come up with your own religions. Don't tell it to make up a religion. Like what I did was, can you create a scripture that would be for a religion based on this and that, and it came up with some fucking awesome shit. And like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
It's awesome. It's pretty cool.
I made a religion based around our time traveling friend Slim, the living cyborg.
Yeah, what it came up for me is something called the Axiarchic Weave or whatever. It's like, holy shit.
Farm
I love
out.
this religion. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I just went in and I told it to replace the word God with Bigfoot in Genesis. I was having fun doing that.
That probably sounds. Oh, that's probably quite awesome.
Apologetics, what is it? Apologetics is a response to questions from honest skeptics.
He says that a lot. I think he has a problem with people that challenge him.
Well, this is just more poison in the well. This is so anytime that you ask him a question that does contradict what he's claiming, he can say you're dishonest then. That's what that's for. It's a disclaimer.
Apologetics is how we respond to people who ask us, hey, why do you believe what you believe? Now, there are dishonest skeptics, people who post things online. Oh, yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. We're not interested in that. Those people don't want to hear an answer. But honest skeptics who ask legitimate questions
it's time
and are really
for another
interested in
installment
hearing
in
the
this
answer,
series
those are
exposing-
the people.
I'm sorry.
But so dishonest skeptics are those people that post things online. That's the criteria.
Yes. So, yeah. You know, the thing is, I have always asked them to tell me why they believe what they believe, but they never do. They just want to pick on my atheism.
Yeah. Or atheism. Yeah.
Everyone-
That's what I'm covering right now, actually, Mike. I'm doing a whole series of videos about that.
why they believe.
Well, that they don't. They actually never even attempt to defend what they believe because it's indefensible. Right. So they spend all their time trying to poke holes in evolution and atheism rather than defending their own position. It's all purely a dishonest act in burden shifting.
Birdie. Yeah, watch the birdie.
Yeah. I wish I could control the questions I get and control the questioners I get. But if you're trying to save sinners, and that's your worldview, is that people who don't believe are sinners, they're warped by their sinful nature, you're only ever going to get dishonest or corrupt questioners who ask questions that are out of line with your purified, aerified apologetics. So you need to determine, is that an honest question or is that just a non?
Well, he gave a dishonest definition for apologetics, actually.
Right.
Apologetics is, of course, based on apologia, and that's defense of God's word and the Christian worldview. That's what apologia is supposed to be, them defending the word of God. So he gave, instead of giving the actual definition of that word, he gave just a response to questions from skeptics, because he's not going to defend God's word. That's never going to be part of this. It never is. I mean, they may read some verses and say it's true, but that's not defense. That's just reading.
That we want to be prepared for. There are two competing ideas for origins. By origins, I mean...
No.
No.
He's setting up the false argument here again, where it's either we're right or the scientists are right. And that's leaving out, you've got all kind of other creation myths in hundreds or thousands of stories. So
And this is the other thing. We're all
Not
familiar
not counting other possibilities. There's other, who knows? There could be all kind of other possibilities we haven't even thought of yet.
Well, we're all familiar with, especially in the YouTube area, the apologists and channels that spend all their time attacking evolution and atheism. And that's why he puts it this way, because what creation apologists specifically attempt to do is they know they're speaking to Christians mostly. So what they do is they say, well, if I can poke holes in evolution, then the default answer is creationism is true. And I'm giving you the story of creation right here. So this is true. And it's a completely dishonest way to do it. And it's not apologetics at all.
How did everything get here? Creation is one idea. Evolution is another idea. Neither of these.
Well, everything is not evolution. That's biological evolution. This is just mixing everything all up right away here too.
So the paper, he's paraphrasing for a reason. It says creation and evolution are models, ideas, and can't be proven via science. And that's incorrect. Creation doesn't have a model. They have a story. Models such as evolution, which has been proven scientifically, to the extent that it's the best explanation as far as the theory of evolution. The fact that evolution happens has been observed. So you can say that science has shown that evolution is true. The problem here, though, is that creation is not a model. It has no mechanisms. At every turn, it's God did it. You have one source that is a text written by ancient people that you're saying is literally true in its story of creation, but you have no mechanisms other than magic. So it's not a model.
Yep.
These are theories, although you hear people say the theory of evolution. Strictly speaking, creation and evolution are scientific models or ideas.
No.
No.
That's not how that works.
Yeah. This is really bad.
Yeah, and it's just a theory, right?
That's because he's a computer science teacher repeating stuff he learned in Sunday school and Kent Hovind videos.
Sounds like it. We got Carrie Ann here. Hello, Carrie Ann. Good to see you.
Hey, Carrie Ann.
To do what he's trying to do, he has to put creation and evolution on the same playing field, and they're not competing ideas. Evolution is a fact that we observe. Now, if you want to claim magic and everything else, the mechanism still has to be evolution because it's a fact that we observe evolution. They are not on the same playing field. They have to set it up this way, though. I mean, honestly, he's really bad at this, but at the same time, this is kind of how apologists operate today.
Yeah. Could you imagine going through all 8 lessons of this?
Oh my God.
You'd be stupider at the end.
And as we'll discover and focus in on our second lesson, neither idea can be proven using science.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe just answered that. Yeah.
The difference is there's an interesting difference here. Like, okay, for creation, if you start asking them, how did God create it and when did God create it? They're either going to give you the pat, days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you like what time of the day and what did it look like when God created things? What was it like 1 second before God created the herd of elephants? And what was it like 1 second after? And where did the air go when the elephants happened? When the elephants suddenly were created? Those are questions. Now, evolution, when you think about it, It has an infinite number of questions that you can ask and an infinite number of research that we can do on. Well, not infinite, but I mean, it's extensive. You can keep asking questions and
make predictions.
And the theory of evolution endeavors to answer those questions. When you ask a creationist about when God did it, and did he have a magic wand? What it looked like? What would it be like if you were standing there when he did this? They're not going to answer any of those questions, because for them, it's just brute. Oh, he just did it. I'm just going to invoke magic. So it's not a theory. It's not a model. It's nothing. It's making crap up.
Right. Evolution. So science is descriptive. It's not prescriptive. And creation in this context is the claim, not the mechanism. Evolution, though, has the theory of evolution, which is the mechanism, which tells you how and lets you make predictions. One of them is science and one of them is not.
And the point I wanted to make about evolution is that there are brute fact things that you can say about it overall, the whole model, like natural selection and all of that. But then there are just an almost infinite number of questions about in between that you can keep asking. So you can keep drilling down till you get to one protein bumping into another, So I mean, science.
That's why. Sorry, that's why evolution is one of the pillars of all life sciences, though.
Because it keeps drilling.
Right, because you can pull genetics out of evolution. You can all kinds of things to do with hereditary genes, and I mean, there's so many different other branches of science that come out of evolution directly. That when you deny evolution as a thing, you're not just saying evolution didn't do it, it's God. You're also denying whole branches of science.
Yeah,
that's how I was. I think I told Mike and them in the text that 60 Minutes was covering AI, and one of the interesting things that they're putting AI to work on is cures and treatments for diseases. And I said, wouldn't that be interesting if, lo and behold, the AI could just, metaphorically, work on it overnight, and in the morning you have it figured out for you. And of course you have the, scientists, smacking themselves in the head, well, of course there's the answer, So interesting though that AI is out there working on cures. So that's an interesting, good use of the energy consumption, I would say, at least for that part.
How often do you think the idea of creation is mentioned in the Bible? If you're saying, well, it's in Genesis, you're right. But did you know it's all throughout the Bible? The 39 books of the Old Testament, full of ideas about creation. The 27 books.
Well, I think God did it as the answer to a lot of things in the Bible. So that's a given. So we'll give you that to you. A book about God doing it says a lot about God doing it.
Right. I put any book you want in its place and then say the same thing. Like you haven't shown the Bible to be a valid source. You're just claiming that it talks about the thing that you say is true.
The New Testament, full of the idea of creation.
Really?
Well, then the people in the New Testament were pretty much citing stuff in the Old Testament. So
Scott, is that true?
Yep.
That creation is everywhere in the Bible?
Well, there are psalms and little poetics, lyrical sections of various books that talk about creation. The skies. He laid out. He laid out the stars. And things like that. So yes, the attributing creation to God is all throughout the Bible, but does the Bible talk about scientific creationism or young earth creationism all throughout, that's a totally different question, and the answer is no. I mean, it assumes God did it, but you're talking about a primitive society where everybody believed in at least one or two gods that were involved in creation. So,
I mean, even if the Bible mentions creation, though, is when it mentions it, it's like we're the sons of Adam and God created everything, but still, it gives none of the times that it mentions it does it give any explanation for it or any mechanism on how it works. It's just it's almost like it's the presupposition that the Bible is written on is there. So it's not. I don't even know why he brings that up, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not evidence for creationism, which is a totally different animal from the creation that we see before us.
Yeah.
And is that the most important part of Christianity, the creation? I mean, it
Definitely not.
Yeah, this stuff is.
If you're gonna say, I guess in terms of providing a complete package of a religion, you would say yes, creation. The doctrine of creation is important, but all they did was take the Jewish idea of creation and steal it, and then add all the Christianity focused doctrines to it. So it's not like it's unique to Christianity. In fact, the doctrine of creation of Christianity is just a mutated form of the Jewish one.
Right.
B.S. Lewis telling you, Joe, the mechanism was speech, because God spoke it and it was.
Spoke it into existence. Just like
Thanks for joining us, B.S. And we've got Jam in the chat too. Hello. Go ahead, Mike.
That's some Harry Potter stuff right there. That he did it with speak. You say the right words and the thing happens. Just like
Levioso.
Yeah. No, Leviosa.
Each lesson will be looking at a number of verses that emphasize creation.
Oh, that's a surprise.
The question, so what, comes to mind?
It's gonna emphasize creation. I'm sure it does.
Why do we care about creation?
Go ahead, Mike.
If God created the universe, or if God created life or whatever, created the plants, right? How did God create them? Basically, did God just speak a word and they instantly popped into existence? Or did God kind of like push each little atom here and there and manipulate it along the way? There's nothing in the Bible that tells you exactly how God did it, other than the word.
We need to know, does God use zircon encrusted tweezers?
That's important.
Creation is foundational to Christianity.
No.
There's a reason that Genesis is the first book of the Bible. Creation is found.
It's the first book in the Bible, but it wasn't actually the oldest book in the Bible. So that goes to Job, doesn't it,
Yes.
Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a section of the Bible that's even older than Job. Don't ask me to tell you which one, but I saw Dan McClellan talking about it the other day.
Okay.
Foundational to Christianity. And when it comes to the Great Commission and how we interact with other people to make disciples, the creation, what some people might call nature, serves as a great common ground for discussion. It absolutely does, doesn't it? All right. I like to begin sessions rather than with a prayer. I like to begin sessions with a hymn, with the stanzas of a hymn. This is a trick that I learned from a mentor and friend at Concordian.
I know we like to do your little things there.
Know about me as your instructor. Thing one, I don't know everything.
Right.
Thing two, I make mistakes. Sometimes when I say
Theory, I
that
have this
in my
nervous
college
tick.
classes, I'll have a
His
he's,
biggest mistake was when he got this YouTube channel.
hello, Ed. Ed here from the Rabbit Atheist. Good to see you.
student who will ask for a refund. Now, although those two things are true, I should also tell you that I do have a number of degrees after my name, including 98.6.
Ayo.
98 point what?
His temperature, 98.6 degrees.
98. It's a
He's
joke.
making a joke. Oh, he made a joke.
He made a joke.
was
These
so bad
jokes
that
are
He's hilarious.
these jokes are just for you, Mike.
They don't even come up to the level of dad jokes, you know. They're so way
I wonder
down
if he realized he was making so many mistakes and showing and demonstrating he doesn't know everything so soon into this video.
I don't know. I think he's really trying. I mean, he did the bow tie and everything, unless it's a clip on. I think he's really, really trying.
Yeah, he's got a pretty nice church background there too. So.
And to know that this is 2 years ago. Okay, he's got videos going back a lot longer than that. So this isn't his first time out or anything.
And I've spent a number of years investigating origins, both scientifically and biblically.
What degree does he have? What degree does he have? He hasn't mentioned that.
While you were studying computer science, he was dabbling in origins and theology, I guess.
I guess he went. Yeah, he's a biologist. No,
He's a scientist. So he.
Oh, he's a scientist.
At one point, I'm not sure if it's this video, but at one point he does equate himself as, because he's a scientist, that he knows other fields of science, at least better than lay people would.
And of course, I'm a scientist is something computer scientists love to say, but I don't know. It doesn't really land true to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Computer science, I'm not sure. I don't know.
If behind it you were an engineer who thus got into computers, maybe your electronic knowledge obviously helps you with that. Maybe if you are a mathematician or of some sort with degrees in mathematics, you're a mathematician who became a computer scientist with other degrees in it. But I don't know. Does it rise to the level of science? I
guess.
think so.
Yeah, there is stuff that, like, there is the theory of compilers and all of that stuff, and there is a ton of science behind computer science.
Well, are music theorists
knows.
scientists? Because there's also music theory that people major in and specialize in and get multiple degrees in. Are they scientists? Just because you are in a field that has a theory doesn't make you a scientist either. Not in the...
Well, that's philosophical, though. That's
yeah. So
computer science does contain science, but to say you're a scientist wouldn't be appropriate.
Is an engineer a scientist?
No,
Yeah,
they may do science, but what I mean, I guess it depends on how you're defining scientist, because under some definitions, anyone can be a scientist, right? If you're studying science, you're a scientist. But
yeah, I think it's important to establish those definitions ahead of time, because he's going to be calling himself a scientist.
Having a computer science engineering degree, you could be using that degree to do science in the computer field. You could be, but it doesn't. It doesn't just default make you a scientist on all things.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely true. Definitely true. You are nothing outside of your particular specialty. And
Right.
If
it doesn't make you an evolutionary biologist.
If you bring your computer science degree to a biology discussion, you've brought the wrong tools. So,
right.
Anyway.
But under the advisement of biological scientists and such, you can do some great computer work. And I'm not saying that I disrespect computer science, not at all.
We're just suspect because he's teaching at the Bible school. That's what is suspect.
Like, is he a scientist like Carl Sagan was a scientist, or Neil deGrasse Tyson is a scientist? I just don't think so. Or a less well-known one, Becky Smethurst or whatever. She's a astrophysicist. Has her own channel and teaches science on that channel. But she's a definite scientist because she does the research work and the crunches the numbers.
Well,
we got a rodent in the chat. Hello, Nerdy.
Hey, Nerdy.
It's a different field. You can be a computer scientist. There is lots of fields of science within computer science engineering. Yeah, there you go. There's lots of different fields you can be in that are scientific work. Quantum computing is science. I mean, you can be a scientist. It's just not the same field. It's different.
Hello, Simos. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
What's up, Simos?
I'd love to say something witty. Unfortunately, I forgot my brain today. But I think I might not need it with this guy.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. We'll take it.
I'm managing.
We'll take it easy on you. Trust me.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Brainless is here. He does just fine. So
Yeah. There you go. I'm in good company.
I'm looking up creationism in the index.
Okay.
We want to do when it comes to the idea of creation is we want to make sure that we understand it. How can we explain it to somebody else if we don't understand it? Reminds me of the little boy who got very curious about the family Bible. He saw it on the shelf. He reached up, he picked it down, and he'd heard the stories of creation.
It's going to be a bad joke.
Adam and Eve. Well, he opened up the Bible, and unbeknownst to him, his mother was pressing leaves in the Bible, and out fell this huge leaf.
Oh, God. Oh, this is bad.
Well, just then, the mom walked into the room. She looked at the boy. She looked at the Bible. She looked on the floor, and she asked him, "What's that?" And the boy said, "I don't know, but it might be Adam's underwear."
Oh.
Get a rope.
Oh.
Sorry, Dave, but I got to do this. Fuck's sake, man.
Alrighty.
Even I don't make bad jokes like that. Holy shit.
One thing I will say is he's just invented a new category of jokes. Christian dad jokes.
Christian dad joke. Worse than dad joke.
No, please don't put them even near the category of dad jokes, please.
Yeah.
Because dad jokes are funny as fuck.
Yeah, they're much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And like his jokes, no.
Oh, thanks for laughing with me.
We really
Some
tried to
get a
laugh with you.
sniffle, but no, none are. No, they're not funny.
That was weak.
Very good. All right. Here's a common question. Let's go back to our handout a little bit. Here's a common question that you're going to hear, and I'm assuming if you haven't already heard it, you will.
All right, here you go, Mike. This is
What the
we're queuing you
hell
up.
do apes have to do with Christianity?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, apes and humans are 99% similar. Doesn't that prove evolution?
It's one line of evidence.
Evidence.
You know,
It supports a prediction. But
this is Jim Bob what he was pulling that. Oh well, just because you have traits across populations changing that doesn't prove all of evolution. It's like, well, no, but that's one line. That's one line of evidence. You have other things, but that's what he was playing against on me was, well, what about this, and it's like, that wasn't the point. The point was this one thing. Yes, there's other things you can talk about as well.
Excuse me. Well, how would you answer that question? Here are a couple ways that you can answer that question. Number one, that's the stupidest question I've heard all day. Number
Pause it
two,
real quick.
you're
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of caught in my own incredulosity. I don't know what the word is.
Incredulosity.
Who asked that question? Does it prove evolution? No. People who know evolution don't ask that question.
No.
Maybe he's talking to people who accept evolution but don't understand it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a Ray Comfort thing. It's like, yeah, it's just, you throw something out there to somebody on the street and doesn't this prove evolution? It's like, whoa. You know, step back. Go take a class.
It's upside down. The 99% similarity tells us that basically if evolution is true, then we would predict that there'd be a high degree of similarity between us and other apes. But it doesn't prove evolution, and it isn't all of evolution. So, I mean, he's just got it upside down and backwards. So.
I think Stephanie's assessment of this man's understanding of science is pretty spot on.
Yep.
And I'm being 100% honest in stating my opinion.
an unbeliever. You wouldn't understand these things. See? Why don't you find a half-wit so you have somebody to look up to?
See, this is what I was mentioning earlier. Okay. I think this is some of the pushback that he's heard. Why don't you find a half-wit to look up to?
Yeah.
Well, I think you realize that none of those are appropriate. They might be funny, but none of
Yes, it was very funny. One more time. Yes, it was very funny.
Speaking of funny, if I think if a man gave birth to an ape, that would prove creationism.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, just saying.
Well,
Of them-
we always give birth to apes because we are apes.
Oh, god damn it! Yes, my Sky Daddy joke went awry.
I hate it when they bring up monophyly.
are appropriate, especially if it's a question from an honest skeptic. Here's how I want you to think about answering that question. Wow, you know, friend, that's an interesting question. Tell me, why do you think that supports evolution?
Well, as Mike was pointing out, because that's something we would expect if different species were closely related, and that is what we find.
Right. And if it turned out to not be the case, then that would be a real problem for evolution. Basically, it's a prediction we made, or that you would make, if evolution is true, and the evidence supports the hypothesis.
And hello, Chris. Chris has usually got the morning thing covered, but Chris is out in the evening here. Good to see you, Chris.
Now, when they go on, seriously, how would you answer that question? Well, let's think about that a little bit, and let's go through
Not too much,
the
though.
study today, and at the end we'll come back to that question and we'll see how to answer it. A couple of things I should tell you, though, as a scientist. First of
What?
There it is. There it
What?
is. Are you ready? Ready, Mike?
Yeah.
I just got to point out lack of white coat.
Yeah, where's the white coat?
Where's the white coat?
I miss John Pendleton. He was brought up earlier today. And rest in peace. Rest in peace. John always had the lab coat on, though. Dang it. I mean,
Yeah.
Was he the
Come
guy
on.
that you?
He was
Is
a
he the
proper
guy that
image.
used to do bad creation stuff with the lab coat on?
yeah, he was a mid-husband, a mechanic, and a chemist.
Yeah. Oh, Gunther
Not
Beckley.
necessarily in that order.
Gunther Beckley got killed in a car accident last week.
Yeah, we lost Gunther.
Gunther.
I'd also like to point out that he's not even a creation scientist, as he's not wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, no Hawaiian shirt either.
And really, the fact that he doesn't have an Australian accent counts against him.
Yep. There's a lot of those, too. Australia's smart. They get rid of them. They just, hey, mate, we love you and all. But
Now head
See
off
that-
to Kentucky.
see that airport over there? Yeah, you got a one-way ride.
There's an ark in Kentucky, and you've got a seat on it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the inmate.
There's the inmate, yes. Fucking dumbass.
Well, that's not true. There are many, many differences between humans and apes. What most people are talking about there is the genetic
Yes.
material
Yes,
in
because
some
evolution
sections
teaches
of the
that
DNA.
men and
There's
apes are
lots of-
exactly the same.
Yes.
Well, we're nothing
Similar-
but mammals.
Well,
So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Oh,
yeah. It's very old. It is that. Then why are there still monkeys or some kind of nonsense? That's all I hear when I'm hearing this is why are there still monkeys?
yeah, but look, they don't understand the difference between we came from apes and we have the same ancestor as apes, as the other great apes.
Well, they have no concept of cousins or nieces or nephews either.
Yeah.
That's because that's so. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
if
can't
you're-
explain these basic things, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's when your head starts to hurt because you're banging it on that wall and the wall's just not answering back correctly.
yeah. That's like saying, well, if you're here, why do you have cousins?
I've
Yeah,
heard.
exactly. Yeah.
I've heard that's the case in Utah.
between apes, like chimpanzees, and human beings. Let me read this quote to you from Bill Nye.
Chimpanzees? What? How the
Uh-oh.
fuck did he pronounce that? That's an insult to chimpanzees.
He
Hell.
he's got a shirt mic or something. He touches it a lot. But okay, we got something from Bill
touch it
Nye
a lot.
here. So
Oh.
he's going to a good source. See what Bill's got to say.
Bill Nye, the science guy. I'm sorry to
That wasn't very enthusiastic. Try
Nope.
again. It's Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill. See, that's how you do it. Gosh.
say, Bill Nye is not a Christian. Bill Nye is not a creationary scientist. Bill Nye is a rabid evolutionist.
Creation?
Oh, a rabid evolutionist. Ooh.
Man, that went sideways.
And like all good rabid evolutionists, you won't find him in the Precambrian rock layers.
No
gloves
choice
are
at all.
off now.
We rabid evolutionists will stay away from those Cambrian rock layers like the plague.
Somebody doesn't like Bill Nye. I think he's a Ken Ham fan.
Not a creationist science.
This is in his book.
Yeah, surprise.
No, he said creationary.
Although I don't think Bill Nye actually says he's an atheist, though, does he? I think he just kind of skirts it.
right.
But he's a scientist. He's a science communicator. Let's give him a proper title. He's a science communicator,
Yep.
Yeah.
which we need more of, by the way. Nothing wrong with being a science communicator. We need more. One of the great whenever Carl Sagan comes up about an atheist, I always say I had no clue about any of that. Carl Sagan was the cool science guy that came on Johnny Carson, right? And hey, Mom, can I stay up? Carl Sagan's going to be on the Tonight Show, because it's a cool science guy. We need more people like that, where somebody, little person like myself wants to see the cool science guy on TV.
I just can't believe I can't believe one fellow bow tie wearing person would denigrate another bow tie wearing.
Indeed.
Unbelievable. Disgusting.
Hello, Michael. How
Bill
you doing?
Nye was just given the Congressional Medal of Freedom for his contributions to science education.
Really? Wow.
How soon before Trump is giving out congressional medals of freedom to Ken Ham and Kent Hovind and all those other scummy guys?
Oh, fuck.
And Matt Gates.
Minnow says Nye identifies agnostic. Yeah, that's what I thought. And yeah, Michael with the Ken Ham stuff. That's what I'm hearing. Ken Ham stuff.
Yeah, and the scientists aren't the ones that picked this fight. The religious fundamentalists are the ones that picked this fight with science. Science was just fine to stay out of the business of religion, and science communicators were fine to not identify as atheists before these tossers came along and picked the fight.
Got Joe Friday stopping by. What's up, Joe?
So we're rabbit evolutionists. Okay, let's gloves.
Yeah, Joe doesn't agree with us, but appreciate you stopping by, Joe.
Where's Joe?
Joe's
Friday.
usually in Donnie's chat, I believe.
Undeniable.
as
Where
long
he's
as
showing
they're
the
polite.
evidence for evolution. As our understanding of DNA has increased, we have come to understand that we share about 98.8% of our gene sequence with
That's pretty close to 99.
Yeah, it also depends on exactly what you're measuring, I believe.
He's going to deny that because yeah.
We got Jin in the chat too. Hello, Jin.
Oh, Jim.
chimpanzees. This is striking evidence for chimps and chumps, that'd be us, to have a common ancestor.
Oh,
Speak for yourself, mate.
He's just rapid firing them, ain't he?
Apes and humans are 90.
Go ahead, Simos.
Well, he's part of the high up in that church. I'm just worried he's going to step backwards.
I did notice that. I'm interested where you got that picture from, because obviously he's on a green screen. So interesting cathedral behind him there.
I think I was there.
8.9.
England.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway.
Oh, well, speaking of the Carter funeral the other day, they added the big cathedral there in Washington, and it is a beautiful building. It really is. I don't agree with why it's built or anything, but they did make a real pretty building.
The National Cathedral is the coolest place I've ever been.
It is. It's a beautiful building. Yeah.
So they built those multi-million-dollar cathedrals to preach to people about feeding the poor and taking care of the poor, which is kind of a little bit of a problem, don't you think?
Yeah.
We got bow tie fans there. Shout out to Jimmy Tux. Usually he says he's working on Saturdays, but you're with us in spirit with the bow ties, Jimmy. So catch up another time.
Doesn't that prove evolution? Again, there are more differences than just the 1%. Here's something to think about, though. Do apes and humans have the same number of chromosomes?
Oh, God. Chromosome 2.
No, no, they don't. Mike, you can answer this. Do they have the same number of chromosomes? No. Okay, thank you.
No,
they don't. Okay.
Okay.
no,
That's settled. That was easy.
Does that prove creationism?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Love it.
You remember the idea of
Chromosomes.
chromosomes in our DNA. I'm sorry, our chromosomes carry our DNA. Human beings have 23 pair, 46 chromosomes. Apes, chimpanzees don't. They have 48. As a matter of fact, apparently they're closer to guppies because they.
Are they closer to guppies, Mike?
No, they're not closer to guppies.
This is an argument too. Oh, look, they have the same amount of genes or chromosomes or whatever. So, yeah, we're more alike to a banana or some kind of thing. But they're not using the right comparisons.
You could go out and find plants in the field of the same species that have different numbers of chromosomes, and there's a whole thing with mice, I guess, in Europe, and I don't remember all the details. But they had a vastly differing number of chromosomes between different species of mice.
Yeah, I just want to point out this guy proves evolution because he's at least 50% bananas.
We got
Why are you insulting banana?
Hoopy Food. What is it? Hoopy Frood? Hoopy Frood in the chat.
Hello,
Interesting name. Interesting name. Hello.
Who is Jin Ziu? Jin Ziu?
Jin. Yeah.
Wouldn't the Trump version of a presidential Medal of Freedom be better known as a pardon?
Pretty much.
Think so. Always with good comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That they also hang around a lot on Slim's live streams and my parents' gaming streams. So.
And the number of genes doesn't mean what is in each gene either, right, Mike?
No. Is that the way he put it?
Yeah,
so basically,
he's basically just, well, if you have the same number of genes, then somehow you're equivalent, where it's what's in the genes as well.
When you compare genomes, basically, if we were to do a 1-for-1 comparison between me and you, Dave, we might come up with like 86% or less similar because when you compare the genome, you stick to the parts that are conserved. Anyway, it's a long discussion. So he's full of shit here. But then if now you compared my genome to my parents' genome, we'd come up with 99%. But me and you, Dave, we'd be way off. Basically, if we did a nucleotide by nucleotide comparison. So that's what they're doing with this percentage thing. And they're basically misrepresenting the science. Incredibly bad.
There's a surprise.
Yeah.
Have the same 48 chromosomes there. Oh no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Guppies are closer to humans because guppies also have 46 chromosomes. Or another way to think about it is this. A watermelon is about 93% water.
Uh-oh.
A cloud is about 92% water.
Uh-oh.
Are they related?
Yes, clouds and watermelons are related.
Yeah.
Tilting windmill. Hello, good to see you.
Love it.
Oh, he's happy.
What a dumbass.
Yeah, man.
He's happy though.
He's gotcha.
He's gotcha.
Just laid down the biggest gotcha he's ever seen.
He's got a hold of him good.
Yeah.
You're up on your toes.
I've got to say, I love your pause game. Look at that fucking grin, man. Oh, that's punchable.
Yeah.
Hmm?
To be fair,
did
though.
I say that out loud?
No,
To be fair,
I cannot see air, and I cannot see God. Does that mean God is 99% hot air?
Mm-hmm.
Watermelons
No, 100%.
are obviously clouds. So Gallagher would be happy. See, that's what it is. See, Gallagher passed away. Gallagher took the watermelons up to the clouds. There we go. We got it figured out.
at all. Let's not worry too much about the comment there that it's not really 99% similar, but instead, let's take a look at how to answer the question in a legitimate and reasonable way.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
Is it God done it?
Oh, are we giving odds?
Yeah, I'll take those. I'll take that.
Back to our handout. How often is creation mentioned in the Bible? I tease this up front. If you're not aware of it, creation is mentioned all over the Bible. I just picked out a few today, and we'll see more as we move along here. Let's take a look. You would expect to find it in Genesis 1, correct?
And what does it have to do with anything? What is he talking about?
Yeah.
O Lord, how manifold are your works. In wisdom have you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Who cares? What is that shit?
And Joe's bringing up this that I skipped his comment. I'm not skipping it. I've heard it a million times. The reason the doctors are using pig organs versus the ape organs is, first of all, they're engineering them. And secondly, because there's diseases and different reasons that make it unhealthy, as well as, taking the other ape's life for their heart is seen as, kind of immoral, and so there's all kind of problems with it. And it's just all around better to use the pig organs that they're engineering to use in people. Okay?
Yeah, for some reason, nobody.
Is that a good answer? Anybody want to add to that answer?
Nobody cares about pigs.
Well, I would have thought size has something
Well,
to do
pigs
with it
are-
as
are-
well. And
are
also,
like
I believe that they're less likely to be rejected.
Yep.
Well, they're domesticated breed. So.
Okay. All right, Joe? All right.
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God
Oh,
created
Genesis
the heavens
1:1.
and the earth.
I always laugh when I hear Genesis 1:1. Oh my God, so naive. Peter Gabriel was the singer then, of course, so it's very funny.
Now, I just opened up my hard copy Bible, and Psalm, the book of Psalms, is about in the middle of the Old Testament. Psalm 104, verse 24. O Lord, how manifold are your
Thank you,
works.
Joe.
In
Thank you, Joe.
wisdom
Thank
you
you for
made
your,
them all.
Interesting
The earth
contributions.
is full of your.
Hey, I answered your question to the best of my ability. If you don't like it, that's okay. But I did answer. So,
Oh yeah.
and everybody's welcome here. Bunch of atheists talking, but you're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome here as
They're
long
not
as
interested
everybody.
in answers.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. So don't get all uptight on us, Joe.
So ChatGPT has a nice summary for why we use pig organs instead of chimp organs. Primates, ethical considerations, number one.
Right.
Okay. They're more closely related to us, and we consider them cognitively and socially close to us. So we don't like that. They're more available. Pigs are highly available. We have millions of them, billions actually. And then what you mentioned, Dave, immunological suitability and genetic engineering. There's a risk of cross-species disease transmission. And pigs can be genetically engineered, for example, to remove or knock out genes that trigger immune rejection in humans. This makes it more straightforward to reduce acute rejection than it might be in an ape to human transplantation. So
there you go, Joe. I covered pretty much all those points there in my answer. From a lay person. Yeah, I did say though that they're genetically changing the hearts and with the disease from the other apes and the ethical concerns. That was my answer as well. So there you go.
Much more controversial to go after a chimpanzee than it is a pig. But why do pigs get such a bad deal? I don't know. I like pigs.
Because they're yummy.
Well, they're yummy. I like them because of that. But I mean, I used to raise pigs, and I thought they were really smart, smarter than cows.
Oh, they are smart.
Pigs are very
They are
smart.
smart.
Hello, Timothy Judge. Thanks for stopping by.
They're not very cuddly.
We got late nights with cool pigeons. Cool pigeon. That's a cool name. I hate God. I only like Jesus, who is Satan. All right. Rock on. Yes, we were talking about that. Who was talking about it? Was that Slim Brainless? Somebody we were
About
talking
what?
about how smart the pigs are.
Yep.
Could be, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, pigs are
I'm on way
smart.
too many. I'm way too many streams to remember what was talked about on which stream.
That's why I said maybe. So no, I heard it somewhere.
Could be.
Creatures. The last book of the Old Testament, Malachi.
Oh,
Malachi
fantastic.
2:10. Have we not all one Father? Has not one God
Malachi
created us?
2:10. Oh, Malachi.
First book of the New Testament, Matthew. This is Jesus speaking. He answered,
No,
have you
this
not
is
read
Matthew.
that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female?
Yeah, and that's way out of context for what that. I know what that conversation's about.
Mm.
Now, I know Ephesians is not really in the middle of the New Testament, but in my study Bible, because of the way it's all laid out there, I just went somewhere in the middle. There was Ephesians. Ephesians 3:9. To bring to light for everyone what is the plan of the mystery hidden for ages in God, who...
Oh, here we go again. What is the plan of the mystery hidden? Yeah. This is why you need hermeneutics and apologetics right there.
No, that's the get out of jail free card.
And where does it say in the Bible that evolution is not true? It said God created it, but it doesn't say God did not create it using evolution, basically. Like, for instance, did God create you? Each of us here? Did God create us?
Well, enter a theistic evolutionist that says there's still a God, but God used evolution.
Did God create us by speaking, basically? No. Mommy loved daddy and dad very much. That's how we got here. So God did not create us any more than creation is true.
According to Professor Gary here, yes, Geo, the Bible is correct by default. So
yeah,
we're disagreeing with that, but that is his position.
Yeah, and who's to say? I mean, this is the point. It's hermeneutics, as you said, right? To bring to light for everyone what is the plan of the mystery hidden. Well, clearly the mystery hidden here is evolution.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about.
Hello, Sea Wind. Thanks for joining us. Yeah,
Hey?
This wording is very difficult. I'm sorry. I wouldn't use this example.
I wouldn't say difficult. I would say ambiguous.
At least, thank you.
created all things. And then the last book of the Bible, the last book of the New Testament, Revelation.
Sorry, can we just stop that? Can we put up Sea Winds? Let's all have a chuckle at Sea Wind. Come on now.
This one?
Yeah, that's the one. Evolution does not explain the origin of life.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Evolution explains the origin of species. It's right on Darwin's book that everybody does, everybody knows Darwin, right? It's on the book. Origin of species, not origin of life.
Yeah, and as you say, tilting windmill. Math doesn't explain either air or the beginning of the alphabet.
Yep.
There we go.
And that's one of the things that the professor said earlier. It said evolution explains the origin of everything. That wasn't. I pointed out that's not
what he
correct.
said?
It's
Is that what
it's
he
not the
said?
evolution. Or diversity of species. It doesn't include everything in the universe, which is often what they're using. Is that evolutionists believe this and that, and about all these other fields of science have nothing to do with biology.
Uh-huh. Yes, Seawind, we have
Chapter 4,
alternatives
verse
to
11.
Genesis.
Worthy are you, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power, for you created all things, and by your will they exist and were created.
There you are, Simos.
Yeah,
God-
that's terrible
did it.
grammar. Terrible
did it.
grammar. Absolutely terrible. John was a terrible grammar. Everything was
We're gonna
created, and by you they were created. I mean, talk
Yeah.
about redundancy in a sentence. And that back in a day when ink was quite expensive.
Well, isn't that a problem caused by translation?
Often that's a problem. Seawind, right? So you do not have a plausible alternative to Genesis. Well, first of all, I pointed out earlier that there are a lot of origin stories in a lot of different religions and cultures and beliefs. So that's, take your pick from those. And as far as the origin of the universe, the origin of life, the diversity of life, these are all different fields.
Yeah, I would say either yes or Rush were both plausible alternatives to Genesis.
Or Bigfoot.
Oh, no,
Find
big
creation listed, mentioned, discussed all throughout the biblical text. If you want some other references, think about the creeds.
What?
As Lutherans, we recite usually the Apostles' or Nicene Creed every week. They both begin fairly similarly, don't they? The Apostles' Creed, I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth.
Don't worry about it.
The Nicene.
Well, so you repeatedly confirm to yourself what you believe. Yes. That's why you are convinced that your answer is reasonable and all of science is not reasonable. I don't see any other reason why, but you've got yourself convinced.
Creed, I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and of all things visible and invisible.
Oh, there's that invisible again.
Yep.
God made himself. Is that what you say?
I always think of Father Guido Sarducci on Saturday Night Live. If God made us, why aren't we all invisible?
Our Lutheran confessions don't spend a lot of time on creation.
I'm sorry, that's him. He
him.
keeps touching his microphone.
That's him. Oh my God, that's classic.
Mainly because the doctrine of creation wasn't really in dispute at that time. The doctrine of creation isn't up for discussion, but other things are.
I don't think that's true. There was a lot of philosophers that had ideas about things like the atom and stuff long time ago, right?
Very true. Yep.
But
So
in
they
the
were pondering these things a long time ago.
In the 1950s and the 1960s, it wasn't in dispute because people didn't deny the science in order to say that Genesis was literally true. This shit didn't happen. But at least it wasn't something that was happening in the culture that I grew up in. Basically, when my mom brought me to church when I was 6 to 8 years old, there was no bullshit about creation versus evolution back then. This is all something that has occurred in the last 50 years with these fundamentalists, right? So this wasn't a problem in the 50s and 60s. People accepted science and they accepted their faith at the same time. And the two never met.
And that's something I point out, that the Hawaiian shirt guy, Ken Ham, and Ray Comfort, all the rest of the names everybody knows, that's the generation of this modern creationist movement.
Right.
But before that, there was some groups here and there had different beliefs, just like many different denominations and churches do. But yeah, this whole thing that it was some part of Christianity only really came up, like Mike said, in the last 50 years, which is about the time when these people were hitting about 20 years old, because they're all hitting about 70 now.
Yep. Yeah, when I was like 7 or 8 years old, a Presbyterian minister explained to me, when I asked him about dinosaurs, that each day in Genesis wasn't really a day, it was millions of years. He explained that. So that was kind of the common thinking. There wasn't this science denial bullshit going on in the 50s and 60s and even the 70s, maybe down south or maybe in, southern United States, but northern United States, no. This was never a problem. These guys picked this fight. Why are they doing this?
Yeah, they kind of try to make it fit each other. They try to make science and religion fit together and not
they used to.
Not contradict, not use one to disregard the other.
Yeah, now they're trying to create this narrative that science is atheism, basically, that believing in the science is atheism. And that really shoots us in the foot when a pandemic happens.
Yep.
When you have science denial and you get a pandemic. Big problem.
Yeah.
But we can find an interesting comment here at the beginning of the formula of concord in the Lutheran Confessions. Point 1. We believe, teach, and confess that the sole rule and standard according to which all dogmas, together with all teachers, should be estimated and judged are the prophetic and apostolic scriptures of the Old and New Testament alone. As it's written in Psalm 119, 105, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my...
Well, this is, use the Bible to make all your worldview through, right? That's what he's saying.
Yeah. The book says don't look at any other book.
What is this?
It's a good selling point.
Lutheran Confessions? What is this? Formula of Concord? That's not in the Bible, is it?
It's something he said I think they follow for their doctrine, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Luther, that well-known upstanding citizen of Europe.
The word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto
the ex-pastor here says he doesn't give a about the Lutheran Church says.
There you go.
Pat. And St. Paul, though an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you, let him be accursed. Galatians 1:8. By the way, Luther wrote a lot about Genesis. I have the translation of Luther's works, his commentary on Genesis, a number of volumes. Here's one thing Luther says about Genesis. Moses spoke literally and plainly, and either allegorically or figuratively. That is, he means that the world with all creatures was created in 6 days.
So Luther is the son of a bitch that started
it. So basically, he's saying there, Moses, a guy who didn't exist, said, all right, that the Bible is literal, and Luther believed him.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
That's what I was thinking, Simos. I was going to say the same thing. There's a big question about Moses even existing, and questions about there's writings in there about Moses's death, and did he write about his own death, which obviously he didn't write about his death.
He didn't write about his own death. No.
And the dates for as he pointed out earlier, the first book in the Bible, but it's not the oldest book in the Bible. So there's a lot of questions about who the authors were.
Yep. And we're going to find evidence that's going to support that. This
Are we
course
now?
is entitled.
Yeah, he's a mic
Good luck.
toucher, Ed. He's a mic toucher, Ed. He's been doing it through the whole thing.
Yeah, no. Good luck showing that Moses knew what he was talking about, because like, there's no archaeological evidence, there's no literary evidence. Go ahead.
Creation apologetics. So we need to understand some things about creation. We also need to understand some things about evolution, and that's important too.
A lot would be.
If
No, it
I think you need to know a lot more about evolution, in my humble opinion.
but not concerning their religion. It has nothing to do with their religion. They can believe all day long without having a problem with evolution.
Well, the best answer I heard from, I don't remember who it was, but they said that they explained Genesis as an overview of creation. And if you try to take anything specific out of it, that is not how it was written. It's, God did this. Yeah. And God did that. And well, sure. And God did that. And right. That's how it's supposed to be read. Ken Ham and these others, they do not understand how it was written. And one of my favorites, I think I've said it before, is Howard Kaiser. Howard Kaiser, I think is his name. Harold, his name is Walter Kaiser. Walter Kaiser is a Christian, but a Old Testament expert. And he told Ken Ham, looked him right in the eye and says, you don't understand the Hebrew. And this, again, I think somebody pointed out, or maybe it's brainless, that you have no way of interpreting it properly when you're reading it in English. And that's another thing they don't understand. And they don't care to, because folks like Ken Ham or Hawaiian Shirt Guy or Ray Comfort or any of these other ones never bothered to do what folks like Bart Ehrman did and take Greek and Hebrew and actually learn the context of the languages.
Someone who accepts evolution comes and questions you, you need to understand what they're saying, what they're thinking, where they're coming from. I think it's extremely important that all Christians understand not only creation, both scientifically and philosophically and theologically, but also evolution, scientifically and philosophically.
Why?
On the handout there, I have a definition, a pretty concise definition of creation, and another one of evolution. Let me just read those to you. Creation, an idea, a model that states God, a supreme intelligence, created the universe fully formed and fully functional.
There you go. There's the creation model. God did it.
Fully dysfunctional.
Yeah, we love bow ties here, Sam. We celebrate the bow tie here. It actually caught my eye. I do appreciate somebody wearing a bow tie. I do agree with you. In my day, you had to have the right this and that and everything else, or you had a rough time.
If you wore a bow tie where I came from, you'd get your ass kicked.
Different worlds, Mike. Different worlds. If you didn't wear a bow tie from where I came from, you get a beat down.
There you go.
That is ready to run in a very short time frame, namely 6 days.
Yeah, see, there it is. There's the problem. He's reading it literally. It's not meant to be for Ken Ham and on the Hawaiian Shirt Guy and all the rest of you guys. It's not how it's supposed to be read. That's not how it was written. And this is what the so-called experts in this say, and I think it was well said. It's an overview. God did it in a very nice, what do you call the wording? Prose or whatever, right? I like reading Genesis, right? It's kind of powerful, you know, and God did this, boom, 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 and there's this, boom, 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 right? And it's a neat story, but it's not supposed to be in any way literal or historic or scientific, not in any way, shape, or form.
Basic kinds of life were created, which later diversified. Natural laws were established to govern.
And he just pointed out that life diversified. The original kinds diversify. How do they diversify? This is where you'll get the creationists. Yeah, they'll accept, oh, yeah, well, yeah, this happens and this happens and this happens all down the line. But that's not evolution. And it is. They will accept all the mechanisms of evolution when they have to explain, especially after the flood. Forget creation. You've got after the flood, where you have to have rapid speciation to get a handful of animals to millions and millions of species.
So how would they answer the question, okay, if God created all things, did God create me? How would they answer that? Would they say, yeah, that God created me?
Yes.
But would that be to deny that I developed from my mom and dad's gametes forming a zygote? I mean, would that deny the entire all the science of embryology just because you're going to admit that God created me? Or are you going to say that God created me through my mom and dad having sex? You see what I mean? They're denying, but they draw a line sort of. And yeah, that's where they come up with macro and microevolution, on and on. Why are they doing this? Why are they picking this fight? I'm a what? Decent.
You're decent.
I'm decent. Thank you.
You're decent, Mike. Thank you. Thank you very much, Steven.
I'm decent from a chimp like ape.
Called Mike. A namesake. Obviously a name.
Mike hasn't yet begun to throw his poo. It's coming, though. I keep waiting for it. It's going to hit the fan. Just wait.
Yeah.
One of these days.
I'm feeling kind of peaceful tonight.
Okay, good.
No poop throwing for you tonight, then, Mike.
I mean, if I run into this guy in an alley, even though he's wearing a bow tie, I wouldn't kick his ass. I feel pretty peaceful.
Yeah, some of these guys, I kind of like this guy. Even some of the other ones that called us cockroaches and scumbags, and
he seems
we've got a variety of ones that gave us little nicknames. Some of these guys, though, it seems like they could be all right guys. You know, they'd get some few ideas fixed up, and they'd be all right guys.
He seems like a nice guy, but I understand why he got out of programming and he got into teaching, because limited. He's limited.
I got to say this, like Seawind, he said here, no, you're descended, I read it wrong, descended from a chimp-like ape. So thank you for putting the like ape, because a common misunderstanding is that we were descended from chimps.
Right.
But we weren't, of course. We just share a common ancestor. So chimp-like ape.
Yes, thank you, Seawind, for saying that properly for a change. Anyway. But it was also a human-like. It was also human-like. So the chimps descended from something that was human-like. Right?
YouTube is recommending this crazy channel to me.
Nothing exploded.
Man, that's awesome. We're in the algorithm, and it's going out to Joe Friday himself. I mean, I was a fan of Joe Friday. I really love that show. So I'm really honored that you've come back from the dead to stop by my channel and give me, a few enjoyable comments there, Joe. Really appreciate it.
What happens if a meteorite hits a chicken? I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. Turns into a banana, presumably. But
I think so.
I'm just saying, nothing exploded. Yeah. Okay.
Nothing exploded. Yeah.
See if you can straw man any better than that. Anybody in the chat? If they can
Please-
straw man the Big Bang, I'd like
Please
to hear
see,
about it.
yeah, please see Deconverted Man's video that yours truly participated in, as well as a lot of other YouTubers, and Mike as well was in there, saying that, no, we don't believe everything came from nothing. So every time you say that, we're just going to say, no,
Just gonna
we
laugh
don't
at you.
believe that. So you can
You
keep
believe
saying
that.
it, and we're going to keep saying, you're wrong. We don't say that. We don't believe that. We don't think that.
But they believe that. They believe that everything came from nothing.
Ex nihilo is everything from nothing, indeed.
Yeah. I think
Operation of
it's 50% as well, not 60%. Mike can correct me there. I think.
On the bananas, how close are we
Yeah,
to bananas?
I think it's to do with the length, isn't it?
Well, depends how you measure it.
Very true. Never mind the length. Just look at the chromosomes.
Here you go. Look, Mom, I brought home some chromosomes.
the universe. One thing I want to say, and we'll come back to this in session 3, is when God
My God, he's
created
got it planned
everything,
out.
it may not be exactly, let me restate that.
Uh-oh.
What we see in the universe and the world today is not exactly what God created.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Here we go again. And yes, Joe, I know the quote by Hawking.
Ready to go?
Yeah, this is a quote by Hawking, because of the law of gravity, the universe can create itself from nothing. But he's not talking about the nothing you're mentioning. He's talking about the formation of the universe, which it's the tricky language of this, and it's taking it kind of out of context. But Hawking and the rest of them believe there was energy before the Big Bang. So that was something.
yeah, that was also a model that Hawking suggested, like what, in the 70s, I think, 50 years ago. So
Mike says, yeah, 60% is about right.
oh, okay, interesting. Thank you, Mike.
There have been changes. We know that. Anybody who looks can see that change is a constant. We know about a huge change on planet Earth. That's the flood of Noah's day.
There's the irony, isn't it?
There it is.
Change is a constant. Like
There's
normally they'll say, "Are you certain about that?" There's no such thing as certainty. Are you certain about that?
Yeah. And there's no evidence of a global flood since land first appeared, I think, 3.5 billion years ago. You can reference back to core samples from around the globe that show different environments. There is not this so-called global event that happened 4,300 years ago. Now, you can go to the Jim Bob method and just say, he believes it because it's a miracle. And there you go. Once again, if you're just going to invoke the supernatural, then, okay, you can just say whatever, you can believe whatever, you can deny whatever evidence you want, you can look at the core samples from around the world and say, nope, I don't believe them. It's just a miracle, it's magic, it's supernatural, everything's out the window. Okay, fine, but then why are you even trying to argue against science at all, right? Just say, just lay it out. Okay, it's all magic. And you don't care what the science says, right? You absolutely do not even care at all what the science says, because you're invoking the supernatural.
Recorded in Genesis 6-9. So although things today are not the same as they were at the creation, when God created, everything was ready to run. The natural laws are important because God established natural laws to
Including the
maintain the
snakes.
operation of the universe. We'll talk about this idea of kinds, and I think we're doing that in session 4. Now, what about evolution? Well, we do need to know some things about evolution.
This is what I want to know.
For a Christian to understand where our evolutionary friends are coming from.
Fantastic.
Evolution is an idea. It's a model.
It is a model,
Technically, evolution
correct.
is not a theory. And you understand why after session 2. Which
Evolution is a theory. It's called the theory of evolution.
Yeah, and I still don't get how people think singularity is nothing. And nothing
Correct.
exploded, it expanded. The
Correct.
Big Bang is a misnomer.
Yeah, creationism is not a model. There's no mathematics stating how God did it. Okay? Evolution is a model. There are mathematics which states exactly how that's going to work.
All right, Ed, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
states that natural processes form the universe gradually, slowly, step by step over
Not what
vast
evolution
periods of
says,
time,
no.
billions of years. All life is related through common ancestors back to the first living cell. Natural laws not only govern the operation of the universe, they were responsible for its origin. This
Okay,
idea
can we,
of
can we
common
just stop there?
What?
Mike, okay, obviously he's mixing up several different ideas here, right?
Yep.
So cosmology being one, all right, that's how the universe formed and changed over time. All life is related through common ancestry back to the first living cell.
Mhm.
Is that evolution, Mike?
No. Back to a common population of single-celled animal or single-celled organisms. That's what you would say about evolution. It doesn't say anything about going back to a single cell. That's another misnomer that people have.
And natural laws not only govern the operation of the universe, they were responsible for its origin. That's nothing to do with evolution. It's not even really to do with cosmology yet. It may be
and it's
the case,
wrong.
but it may be the case, but it certainly isn't involved at the moment.
It's very confused, basically.
I mean, some people would say it's theoretical physics, maybe.
Yeah, well, natural laws are how we describe what is happening right now, basically. Those are the natural laws, and it would be a description of how things, of the regularity in the universe, okay? But it doesn't say anything about being responsible, that the natural laws were responsible for the origin. That's just the wrong way to look at it.
Govern is the word he's using here, and that's the wrong word to use.
Yeah, he's claiming that the natural laws are something separate from the universe, that God created the natural laws first and then operated the universe with the natural laws. It's just a wrong-headed way to look at it. The natural laws are a part of and embedded in the universe as it is today. Doesn't mean they were always the same. Doesn't mean that they aren't going to fuzz out as some trillions and trillions of years from now.
Yeah, so there's 2 points here. So natural laws not only govern the operation of the universe, they don't. The universe is observed, and we create natural laws which represent what the universe does.
Yeah, represent the regularity in what we have today.
And then, that's the presupposition. And then, not only they were responsible for its origin. That's again just some kind of theory. We have no idea what is responsible for its origin as yet. All we know is that it's likely to be some kind of singularity, but that in itself is not a defined term. We don't know what that is. So, I mean, he's wrong on both of these parts about the natural laws. And like you could say in creation, what he said is how he looks at it. That's fine. It's certainly not the way that any naturalist would look at the would look at the universe. So, I mean, he's wrong on all three of these points about evolution.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
got Stephanie here, and yeah, Stephanie, we've had a few Christians stopping by tonight. Yeah, everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good. And we got P here. What up, P?
Yeah, like Joe. I mean,
in your pants?
like Joe. Like I mean, I'm loving
Just
reading I'm loving reading your comments, mate. But you need to do more research before you write some of these comments. I don't think anybody says that sickle cell anemia is a beneficial trait to have in a human. That's not what it says. What's said is that there is a relationship with that and immunity to malaria, and that immunity to malaria might be beneficial. So there you go.
It's beneficial to a population. It certainly isn't beneficial to the individual.
Ancestry. That relates to that question up front. Today, an evolutionary scientist would say human beings and apes, like chimpanzees, share a common ancestor. If you go back 5 to 7 million years ago, there were no humans, there were no apes. It was a different kind of life, which evolved, diversified, and over millions of years, we end up with humans and apes. So humans and apes share a common ancestry.
No, humans are apes.
A creationary scientist says, nope.
Name one beneficial mutation in humans, Mike.
Oh yeah, human.
A beneficial mutation in humans?
Yeah.
There's probably like between, like, okay, if you get cancer and I don't, then I have a beneficial mutation. So I don't know what you mean. What you're talking about?
I would just say human is a beneficial trait for being a human.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Fingernails are beneficial. Kidneys are beneficial. I don't know what he's talking about.
Hi, Tori. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
And where does a creationary scientist get that idea from? From the biblical text. God created in
No
distinct
kidding.
time.
What?
No shit, Sherlock.
And see, and this is the mistake, though. Notice his wording, though. He said a creationist gets their idea from the Bible. That's not technically true. There are creationists in other religions. So, here again, it's setting up, it's either us or them, right? He's completely skipping creationism from other religions and their creation stories.
Okay, we'll talk about this more next time.
geez.
Let me point out today that ideas about origins.
I can name another
cannot
beneficial
be-
trait. I can name another beneficial trait in humans. Not touching your microphone when it's live.
Don't touch your microphone, mate.
Yeah. That'd be a good mutation to have for him.
I don't know where it is. I thought it was a lapel mic, but I don't really see.
No, I think he's standing on it.
No, I think it's under his shirt. He's literally put it under his shirt. He's probably put it on his vest or something.
That's all that chest hair under there rustling.
I don't know what that is.
Get a breeze through there. It's like the planes just are flapping in the breeze.
Be proven. Ideas about the past cannot be proven.
What?
Sure they can.
Well, I wouldn't call it proof.
Yeah, what do you
Well,
mean by proof? I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
then,
Let's not be childish about this.
I reserve the word proof for mathematics. And
Well, for a-
bullshit.
yeah, and for if he's gonna use a Hawaiian shirt level guy stuff, you could say, well, what would go over in court, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, do you have reasonable doubt? Well, no, you'd probably get a majority. Now, if it has to be a unanimous jury, but if you just need a majority, once again, the majority of the world accepts well-established science, like theories, like the theory of evolution. And creationists do not represent all the creation myths as they think they do. They only represent the Bible and they only represent a small minority of Christians, mostly in this country.
Okay, Jim Zhu has another comment that you just got to highlight. He's there you go.
Yeah, that's what the rustling is.
Yeah.
and hello, poor Claire. I thought I saw someone else. I got everybody.
Did you notice before that he was saying it right? He was saying that, chimps and humans came from a common ancestor, and then like 30 seconds later he said that we evolved from apes. We are apes. And so he was doing okay, and then he put his foot in his mouth.
And Claire here has a good point, that isn't every trait that is beneficial a beneficial mutation. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
5 fingers, it's a benefit of opposing thumbs.
Opposing thumbs, yeah.
Yeah, funnily enough, though, as you say, Mike, he was doing okay, and then he put his foot in his mouth, which is incidentally a trait that we learned from apes.
Yeah, exactly. They do that all the time.
I remember when my little ones used to do that. And
Babies can do that. Why can't babies do that?
I know babies can do that. We can't do it anymore. I got trouble reaching to trim my toenails, and they're sitting
Is that
putting it
because
in their
babies
mouth.
evolved from chimps?
It's because we stopped using that ability. If you keep doing that every day, you will not lose that. You'll stay that flexible.
Yeah.
Some days that would be nice.
All right, Joe's got another cracker here. Joe's got another cracker.
Uh-oh. What do we got?
Stick that up for me.
All right.
Pretending what may have happened pretending what may have happened in the unverifiable, very distant past is not science. It's pretending, just like the Bible.
Yes, exactly. But if you have evidence of mechanism, and you have a plausible mechanism, then you can determine what happened.
Well, it's very good of Joe to at least verify that the resurrection is pretending.
And Ken Ham, by the way, who says this supposed historical science thing that he made up and says it's not reliable and you can't get answers, also has a forensics person on staff. Explain that one to me.
Right.
That's what they do.
It's like, how can you convict somebody of murder if you weren't there? Did you?
You weren't there, and it was in the past, and everything they say you cannot rely on. Yet he relies on her enough to give talks and be on the staff. So yeah, that one is just, you don't want to think on it too hard. You really don't.
Although we can find evidence to support a model, think about what goes on in a court of law. Nobody saw the crime.
Yeah, that's what we just mentioned.
Why would you think it about as a court of law? Dear.
Yeah, nobody saw the crime, and yet people can get convicted because of the evidence. And hopefully because it's an overwhelming amount of evidence.
Because there's a plausible mechanism and we have evidence. That's why you believe something happened through natural means. That's what evolution is.
But we uncovered data and evidences and put together a model.
Right.
You can't scientifically prove a model.
You can't scientifically prove a model. What? Models can make predictions. And like anybody willing to make a prediction, although I have trouble getting theists to give me a prediction that happens after they tell it to me, science can make a prediction with a model, and then let's say they predict whatever, a volcano is going to erupt, and then in 5 years, exactly where and when they said it was going to happen, it happens. That's pretty good proven. I mean, of course, there could be odds that it just happened and it was a coincidence, but that if they have all the data to back it up, that they could show that they understood the seismic activity and the pressure in the magma chamber and all these things, they had it all finally figured out, then you would have to give at least some, weight to that. Yeah, they might have the answer figured out here because their prediction came true.
Yeah. And so
and if they can do it again and again and again, then again, that would add more and more weight to it that, yeah, well, it obviously they can predict these things. So then it's true, as about as good, just true as you can get.
Sure. Okay. So, yeah, thank you, Joe. Thank you very much for being here. We do appreciate the comments, even though you seem to think of us as saying,
yeah.
But enjoy the football. Why not?
Instead of listening to us clowns, go watch some clowns toss a pigskin around the field.
Yeah, I know John.
It's all good.
I know John or Joe from Donnie Deal's channel. So.
Oh, really?
Little gruff over there. Yeah, we get it. That's all right.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we lobbed some hard balls over there ourselves. So
it'd be cool if he came in and tried to defend his ideas. If he had a conversation with us instead of calling us clowns.
Joe knows all the bumper stickers. I've seen his comments long enough.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Give him long enough, he'll bring up Mary Schweitzer and all the rest. So.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's no problem either. It's no problem either, and just enjoy your football, mate. Just enjoy your football.
Yeah, I enjoy watching football too.
Abilities for origins, natural or supernatural? Yes, creation is a miracle. Now, right then and there, some people will throw up their hands and say, well, that's not fair. Sure, it's absolutely fair. And
sure, I already gave it to you. That's fair. But it's also, you cannot at the same time, though, dismiss all the other supernatural claims as well, because you have to explain, well, I can just say my God did it. Then you can't say this other person cannot say the same thing with their God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just one other thing also, just to say, it makes all of your claims unfalsifiable, which kind of makes a mockery out of what you're saying.
Well, he wants to open the floodgate, but only for himself.
Right? That as well, of course.
Yeah. Well, the floodgate's wide open. Well, I'm just throwing out the supernatural. Well, there you go. And again, that's like with Jim Bob, right? Jim Bob will just say, well, I'm just throwing out the supernatural to explain all this stuff. Now you have to explain every last thing about every little bit of every field of science, or you can't, cite any science whatsoever unless it can answer every absolute thing about everything. But if I ask you about the magic zoo boat, I don't have to answer that. It's all magic and a miracle. And he doesn't have to do or say anything whatsoever.
Yeah. So if somebody's standing over the victim with a bloody knife in his hands, just has to tell the cops, well, it's supernatural, or I really stabbed him. Take your pick. What do you think, cop?
Yeah.
Buddy. Yeah.
You mean looking at me with that gun and a badge? What do you think you are? What do you get that taser out? Wait. Hold on. Don't get that taser out.
No, that happened in the past. That happened in the past. That's just pretending.
Yeah. Just pretend.
In lessons 4 and 6, we'll talk about why that's absolutely fair to do that.
It's not. It's fair to do it. But can I just make this point again? It's fair to do it, but of course you make all of your claims unfalsifiable, which means nobody should believe them on the face of them.
And he doesn't appreciate any pushback with his comments repeatedly about somebody that's a fair skeptic or whatever he used the wording. So he doesn't like any pushback whatsoever either.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because nobody, his arguments from henceforth have no valid weight of conviction behind them. All right? If you make something you say unfalsifiable, It literally just reduces it to a claim. That's it.
And that's what Hamza told me about Islam when I was on his channel. So there you go.
Yeah.
Who wins, right? Because his claim is unfalsifiable too. Nothing will change his mind. It's unfalsifiable.
Well, it shouldn't convince anybody, is what he's saying. If I make my claim unfalsifiable, it should not convince anybody. Maybe you could accept it on the basis that you like the idea, but that's about it, really. But it shouldn't convince anybody who's skeptical at all. I mean, any kind of skeptical. They don't even have to be like, so, whatever it is, philosophically skeptical or any particular type of skepticism. Just anybody who questions anything. There's no reason to believe anybody that comes to you with an unfalsifiable claim.
Yeah.
And that's just the end of it. So the fact he's admitting here that he's making unfalsifiable claims for his whatever he's saying about the Bible just goes to show exactly the level of this man's science. All right, he's not a scientist, because no scientist would ever do that.
Is the purpose of miracles? Well, let's take a look at the biblical text. Miracles provide evidence and proof of God.
Okay.
Well, maybe it doesn't necessarily follow. No.
Well, no, they can't provide proof of God. And the reason they cannot provide proof of God is because if you take the supernatural claim to be as a serious claim, then there are an infinite number of explanations you can give to almost anything. Right? One of which is God, but one of which isn't God. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and all of these, we'll go through each one of these and go, okay, well, there you go. It could be that, like aliens did it.
Could have been aliens. Yeah.
Could have been aliens, supernatural aliens did it. Who's to say that it's a God that did it? Who's to say which God did it? Who's to say that it wasn't just somebody, a magic man doing it, a shaman? Right? Who's to say that it wasn't elves or gnomes or any number of supernatural beings? Right? Who's to say it wasn't?
We know it was Bigfoot. I don't know why anybody even
Dave.
would refuse to believe that it's so obvious that Bigfoot did it. I mean,
Do you know, I'm just going to say this once, Dave. You have the biggest foot fetish going. All right. Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
But think about it.
I'm more of a leg man.
If every time you got cut or a wound or you got sick, you went to the church, and the priest said a prayer, and then you walked out, and all of a sudden you're cured. So we don't have to go to doctors anymore at all. We just go to the priest, right? That would be evidence for the Christian God, don't you think?
Yep.
It would be
when faith healers like Benny Hinn have heart or chest pains, and they think they're having a heart attack, you know where they went to? Right to the ER. Skedaddled right to that ER as fast as he could. That's right. And you know what? Obviously I don't think highly of these people, but you know what? The doctors managed to fix you up, didn't they? Amazing. But I mean, and speaking of another one, that Ray Comfort, he's another dirty, rotten one. He's another one that pray it away. He had some kind of, I think it was kidney stones or something. There he is, putting pictures up on Facebook and his blog or wherever it is. Look at me, here I am in the hospital getting treated so I can pass these stones. Why aren't you praying it away, Ray? Yeah. You tell other people to. Doesn't seem to work, does it? No, it doesn't. That's the thing. When people can't see that the people that are pushing the faith healing run right to the doctor. You know what I mean? That's some serious blinders. That is just the extreme blinders that you can put on. As big as those things can be, like they put on the horses, big 4-foot blinders on each side of your head, right? To not see that the guy that's telling you to pray it away runs right to the doctor.
Yeah, that is a bit silly.
Exodus chapter 7, verse 9. God speaking to Moses, when Pharaoh says to you, prove yourselves by working a miracle, then you shall say to Aaron, take your staff, cast it down before Pharaoh, that it may become a serpent.
I see. There you go.
What the hell? What?
Well, it's asking for some proof of God, right? And it's saying, well, if you throw this stick down, it's going to turn into a serpent. Now that would be a neat trick.
Yeah.
But if we ask for these things, I often hear that's not how God works. You can't just ask God for something like that. Well, who did it?
Yeah, asking
Aaron.
God.
Aaron.
As Aaron would say,
he did it. Yeah, he did it. So it seems okay all of a sudden. There's your evidence. Now, see, if I would say, hey, once again, you're making these supernatural claims, right? Let me see some supernatural claims. Well, hey, Dave, take that stick you got in your hand, throw it down on the ground. I threw it down on the ground, and there was a snake. I would say, dang, something's going on here, right? It's either a magic trick and you've got me fooled, or that stick turned into a snake. And I don't know if it was like in my hand type thing. I don't know, that's a tough trick. I would be a little skeptical, but I would definitely give it some credence if I couldn't explain it.
Yep, I would too.
John 2, verse 11. This the first of his signs, the wedding at Cana. Jesus did at Cana in Galilee and manifested his glory. And his disciples.
What did he do?
Is that where he made wine?
Yeah, I think that's the water into wine to help everybody just get that little bit more pissed.
Yeah, wasn't Jesus like 10 years old or something? Couldn't he have gotten arrested for that?
Yeah, and reading it here, manifesting his glory in public. I mean, you could read that more than one way, right?
Yeah.
I know in him.
I know some people that used to turn like ephedrine into meth. Is that the same?
Could be.
It's a sign of something, Dave. I mean, it's a sign of something, Mike. Definitely. Hello, Robin, is what I was thinking. That's why I said Dave.
Hi, Robin. Yeah, we'll drop you a link. Hold on.
Also, let's do the next one.
There you go.
So, John 2:23. Now, when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover feast, many believed in his name when he saw the signs he was doing, namely, Romans go home.
But wasn't all this stuff in the past? I mean, how can he prove stuff in the past?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, historical stuff didn't ever happen. Yeah.
John 2:23. Now, when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover feast, many believed in his name when they saw the signs he was doing.
Romans et
John
Dominus.
20, verses 30 through 31.
Oh, we got loads more.
Oh, we might have to skip a little bit.
Are we going to go through every miracle?
Yeah, we have to.
How shall we?
We got to get past the Bible stuff here.
He's not saying what the miracles are even. He's saying, here's a miracle.
It's not even the whole thing.
Miracles point to God.
We don't know what they are, though, do we?
When you're interacting,
I would say if it was, again, a magic trick, okay, is one thing, but something harder to explain, like I've often said, where children's hospitals just emptied out, right? Very, very ill children are just skipping and dancing and prancing right on out the hospitals. Something like that would be very difficult to explain. But those kind of things don't happen. Does one child miraculously, so to speak, heal? Yes, these things happen, and it's often with medical help, right? They don't always have all the answers, and that's a miracle. Obviously, if your children is healthy again, that is a miracle. But they didn't. It wasn't all the children. That's my point.
You know what would be a real miracle? If Answers in Genesis gave up their yearly profits for 1 year to St. Jude's Hospital. That would be a fucking miracle. Wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. I'd like to see that one.
Hello, Robin. How you doing?
Hello. Does it sound
Hello.
okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, because I'm on my headset. That's why I was making sure.
Yep.
Can you crank Robin up a little bit with the little thingy?
Yeah.
I
Can
don't.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
It's good now.
With someone who either believes in evolution or says they believe in evolution,
What's the difference?
here's an important point.
Yeah, not much difference.
Evolution makes sense
Oops.
to them. Evolution makes sense to those who deny God.
What?
Really?
And this,
Like the Pope.
yeah, and Darwin believed in God. So
Famous atheist.
I mean, there you go. Darwin believed in God. Okay.
But
What
it
about-
sounded like that he was trying to say that we just pretend to believe in evolution because we just want to deny God.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you wait for it.
Yeah.
He's gonna get there. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I had to deal with one of those earlier today.
Who was the guy that was the head of the Genome Project? Francis Collins.
Francis Collins. Yes.
Yeah, that famous atheist.
Yes. Oh, and Ken Ham does not like him whatsoever.
What about the Bill Nye? He
Right.
got tore up over Bill Nye too. He did, didn't he?
Yeah. Our friend here mentioned Bill Nye earlier, and he kind of smirked about him.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, they got mad because he got won that presidential
Yeah.
award from Biden.
Evolution makes sense if there is no God. This is why I originally said that natural origins is foolish, because of what we read in Psalm 14, verses 1 through 3. The fool says in his heart, there is no God.
Oh, there it is. Oh, man. That's the 1,000,000th time I've heard that. I'm gonna mark this
Evolution
down.
makes sense all the time.
Why do they always think that we do still believe the same thing as they do when we say we don't believe what you're saying? We've always been... It's so clear that we do not believe what they believe.
It's
I think they know it's ridiculous, and so us not believing it like hurts their justification. You know, when they've got the whole world believing it, then they're justified that they think and believe in it.
and some folks, yeah, they're just dumbfounded if you say you don't believe what they believe, and they'll just like, how can you not believe what I believe? You know, it's just totally not in their worldview, because when you're surrounded by it all the time, everybody believes like you know. So when somebody doesn't, all of a sudden it's, what's the matter with you? You know.
The fool says there is no God.
I know.
They are corrupt. They do abominable deeds.
I'm
There
horrible.
is
I
none
know.
who does good.
Oh, yes.
Abominable things.
Helping
they?
friends buying medicine for their kid is that's such an abominable thing.
Oh man, jeez, just terrible. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
I haven't done nothing abominable since like last year or 2 years ago. Anyway.
See, even Robin gave it a rest.
And he was the worst when you still did that.
The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of men to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside. Together they become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one.
Yeah, and I've heard that too. Everybody's terrible. Your religion is just a ray of sunshine.
Yep.
So is that a
If
prediction
you-
that we'll be
okay.
atheists? The whole world will be atheists pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, it's going that way. It's by I think the number's like by 2050 that a lot of the religions will be on the minority side compared to their numbers now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't
Jins-
believe in
What's Jin up to?
Oh my God, a lot.
Keeping you entertained?
Oh yes, it's written on your heart. I'm not about to get my chest ripped open to find out.
Yeah. What is it saying there?
Yeah.
God. If you don't have God, then the only way you can get origins is via evolution.
There you
Romans
go.
1.
Here's the point. The reason that they started picking on evolution is because they were losing their congregation. The amount of church-going Christians is going down every year. It's scaring the shit out of them. But when asked for proof, they know damn well that they have nothing other than to point at the tree and say, look at the tree. How did that happen? God must have done it. If you believe that, evolution did it, then you have no excuse for God. So this is why they're so hell-bent on attacking science, because science is kind of fucking up their game a little bit.
I think evolution's been under attack since he published the book.
Oh
Origin
yeah,
of Species.
definitely. But not in the same way. I think that they're attacking it now. I don't know. Yeah, there's always been a faction that was unhappy with it because they can't account for Adam and Eve if we evolve from a common ancestor with chimps.
They didn't have to attack it when I was in school. I didn't even learn it.
Yeah.
So so it wasn't being taught. And
right.
I mean, it was taught to some people in some schools, but I'm 56 years old, and I wasn't taught evolution.
Yeah, I went through 11 years of school in science, and I don't think the word evolution was ever once printed in one of our textbooks.
Mine neither. And I took anatomy and physiology in college, and it wasn't taught. I mean, there was nothing about evolution in it. I was 50 years old before I learned about evolution.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to Romans 1 several times in our study here.
Oh, no.
Let's focus on verses 21 through 25. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him. But they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools.
Okay.
Clowns.
And exchanged the glory of the immortal
called fool enough there.
Did you know that? We have a doctrinal statement.
Just to cover that, we're fools.
Yeah.
And we're fools. And the Bible says we're fools because we're fools.
And we do abominable shit.
And abominable stuff. We're just abominable, like this abominable snowman just throwing yellow snow at people. Just awful.
The Bible says that if you don't believe in the Bible, you're a fool. Yeah, read it in the Bible, so it's got to be true. I must be a fool.
Hello, Native. Good to see you.
Oh, hey, Native.
I have it printed here on the handout for you.
All right, where's
I'm
the
not
handout?
expecting you to memorize it, but
I'm not gonna. Don't worry.
That hey, there is a doctrinal statement dealing with this very important idea of creation. Let me read that to you.
Please do.
We believe that the universe,
believe.
the world, and the human race came into existence in the beginning when God created the heaven and earth and all creatures. Further testimony to this.
And again, that's his God. It's once again dismissing all other gods and all other creation stories.
Yeah, and also saying that the human race was created in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Right. Yeah, absolute nonsense.
And if anybody was confused that they believed this, I'd like to know who it was.
Yeah.
Also, why did God create the Earth, the universe to look old?
Yeah, that's one of
Why
the
did he make
deceitful God
fossils?
thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
He's the overachiever.
Well, the devil
Like,
made
in my
fossils.
opinion,
The
in my
devil made
opinion,
fossils brainless. That's
Wow. Wow.
no, in
Yeah.
my opinion, like if no, but then why did God not take them away?
because I don't know.
Well,
For me,
The whole
every
thing
time
with
that they-
Satan has
that, like-
all these powers that he gets away with, and I never understood either.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like
no, like
it- well, it's like they say: if Sherlock Holmes catches Moriarty, the story's over, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but like for me, it's like basically every bit of evidence that they give for God that I would consider slightly reasonable is also for me also proof that he's evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a good evil God argument as well. Yeah.
Or at least that
Yeah,
he's a
he
god
could-
of. At least that he's a god of confusion, at the very least.
And like the guy that I was talking to on Threads earlier kept dodging. It's Matthew 10:34, if I'm not mistaken. That's all I need to know. He's not here to bring peace but war. So fuck you. I want peace.
You know, Mike's got the handouts for you if you want them.
Got the handouts here. How about that?
Go ahead, Robin.
If
Go
he
ahead.
had-
Go ahead, Robin.
If he had, if he was going to a supernatural being to mess with us, he could a superpower, at least the ability to see things. I mean, with our own vision. I mean, we have no method of detection, and this thing is as powerful as God almost, apparently.
Your
And
mic's
he
breaking
just
up,
lets him
Robin.
run loose on us.
Yeah, your mic's breaking up, Robin. I'm sorry. We're not getting a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
I don't.
Yeah. That was
We're still not getting it, Robin. It's breaking up too much. What are you on? Did you say you're on your phone or PC?
We'll give her a second.
Yeah.
So we lost Mike too.
Right. Yeah. I think it must have been a blowout, a burnout on the.
It's the
on
internet
StreamYard.
demons. Yeah, the internet demons are showing up. And
Yeah. Well, they know we're atheists. What
it
can I
is
say?
dark out here, so
They know we're atheists.
we actually have some snow on the ground here too. Believe it or not.
Yeah. If there's any
Uh,
Christians left in the chat, if you could possibly pray for our internet connection, we'd appreciate that.
Whatever that internet demon prayer is, the holy water. Better not put no holy water on because that makes the magic smoke come out. That's not good. So don't do that.
In other passages of the Old and New Testament, the creation happened in the course of 6 consecutive days of normal length by the power of God's almighty word. We
Of
believe that
normal
the
length,
Bible
okay.
presents a true, factual, and historical account of
tedious, though.
creation.
It's tedious, Dave. It's just
That's-
tedious.
Oh, that's terrible.
When it gets to this, it's just like when he gets to just reading the Bible and asserting that it's
It's
true.
a statement of faith. Yeah,
It's not
we know
interesting.
about statement, and the problem is with the statement of faith is, again, you're just losing any form of debate or anything else because statement of faith is the mind is made up, and we're not going to change it. Okay, well, good for you. So,
Also, has he not read the Quran?
yeah,
And it says, Hoopy Frug says, you guys should talk to Jim Bob. He's in Discord. Well, he's welcome to come here, but I'm not going to Discord for Jim Bob.
we,
If I'm going to talk,
we've-
if I'm going to talk to somebody, I like to talk to somebody who's at least intent on listening.
we've talked to Jim Bob, and the video he made about me did pretty good. Last time I saw it, it had over 4,000 views. So
Nice.
they know who I am over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, welcome back, Mike.
There he
Yeah,
is.
something horrible happened.
Yeah.
My Mac crashed. Like,
Wow.
that happens like every 10 years.
I'm
just
quite
happened.
surprised
That's-
because, as
yeah.
it's well known, Steve Jobs was a Christian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I am
And
surprised.
Mike's always talking about how great that Mac is and how the rest of us have such sorry computers. And then
That's true.
the internet demons got you too, didn't they?
Yeah, they got me.
They got you too. Let's see what else she's
Let me
got
read
here.
that to you.
Oh
We
no.
believe that the universe,
Statements of faith. That's
Yeah.
going to cut it with me.
when we
All
look
right.
at creation, we don't do it to prove God's word.
But you just did.
God's word is true.
You,
and we
you
ex-
literally just said.
What?
You literally just said creation is true, and that proves God. And
Yeah.
look at
Oh,
the Bible; it confirms it.
okay.
Yeah,
It's
but
that
like
creation because
no Christian talk is complete without contradictions, right?
Uh,
Just like the Bible.
it's
He's
true.
pretty good at him, and he says them so like soft spoken. It's kind of an interesting take on it, the way he's saying them.
Yeah.
because God's word says it.
Is it?
But it is great,
Says
and
it.
it's a great way to praise the Creator when we can find evidence in His creation that points back to Him. And this will be important evidence.
Thank you for the contradiction. Thank you for proving
Evidence
greatness.
in his
Absolutely
contradiction
correct.
points back to him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it's his creation, it's his creation, but you can't prove it's his creation. You've already said you can't do that.
And you can't prove how he did it, how God created the universe. Or created
Hello, Ember. Good to see you.
Hey, Amber.
I believe in the tooth fairy. Trust me, with all the crowns I've had done, I want every one of them dollars back. Anything I can get, let me tell you. I just had another one done the other day.
This because we're going to use that when we talk to others in an apologetic sense.
No, you're not.
Are you ready? Well,
I was ready when you said that earlier, and when you said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "I'm ready." And now we're like most of the way through the video, and you're saying, "Are you ready?" And you're going to disappoint me again, aren't you?
I mean, basically, it still claims.
He's going to
Yes.
disappoint me again.
We've
Right.
had nothing but claims so far. We haven't had anything that we should be ready for.
All right, I'm going to give you the chance here, Professor. I just don't have a lot of confidence. So you've let me down already.
what is apologetics?
Yeah,
I told
know
you
what
up
it is.
front that apologetics has nothing to do with
This is what the
I know
video
it.
is supposed to be about. We're most of the way through the video, and he's just now.
Well, is he going to admit that apologetics, this whole course, is about how to talk to somebody who may not know a whole lot about science and convince them that your religion is true?
The name of this video should be "How to Sucker You Into Watching Most of This Video for Me to Finally Get to the
That's a good name for it.
apology. We are not saying we are sorry for something.
But you should be.
Apologetics, well, where does that come
Be-
from?
Should be sorry for
It comes
wasting my
from the
time.
Greek word apology.
Yeah,
If you look on your handout, you will see there 1 Peter 3:15, where Peter says, "But in your hearts honor Christ as Christ the Lord as holy, always
I've not
being
said that.
prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for the reason for the hope that is in you."
yep. And you know what the answer is? They block you.
They do.
Touche. Always be prepared to answer why Jesus is in you.
Apologetics, saying you're sorry for having bad arguments. Indeed.
There you go. There you go.
Yet do it with gentleness and respect. I botched it. Allow me to read it again.
Okay.
But
No,
in
you
your
don't gotta read it
hearts,
again.
honor Christ the Lord as holy,
Okay.
always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. That word defense is the Greek word apologia.
Right.
That's where we get apologetics from.
Right.
Literally, the Greek word means from intelligent reasoning. Come, let us reason
So then,
together.
why are you using that word?
I don't think that's what it actually literally means, though.
Well, the English word for it is scam, I think. How do we scam you?
Yeah.
Apologetics is to make a defense or to give an answer to a question. Don't you think that 1% proves evolution? No, I don't. And can I give you a reason why it does not? Apologetics is defensive. We don't go around attacking people with apologetics.
I think you just, excuse me, I think you just did, because you went from you have an answer and then you didn't give an answer to saying we just don't run around throwing attacks, but that seems what you're doing because you said, I got an answer. I'm just not going to give it to you.
Well, 5 minutes ago, he was calling us fools and saying that we wanted to darken our hearts and reject God.
Yeah, but,
and he's not attacking.
but he smiles and he's soft spoken and
I
he's
see.
got a bow tie. So
It's the bow tie that does it.
that's the bow tie.
We use it to answer questions from the honest skeptic.
There he is
You'll note
again.
that several times I've talked about an honest skeptic.
Yeah, I noticed
What's the
that.
point? A dishonest
Somebody
skeptic
who's
doesn't want to hear
gullible
it. He
enough to
just
believe it.
shoots things
Yeah.
out. Oh, yeah.
Yes. He doesn't like engaging people. I've gotten that vibe all through this.
An honest skeptic is somebody who keeps the damn mouth shut and just listens to him. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yep.
Well, who made God? You don't want to know the answer.
Why
I
not?
do.
That's a good
I
question.
want to know.
Yeah,
You're
I'm curious.
Yeah, it's not so much that I want to know who made God. It's when you're using the argument that nothing can exist, or however they're going to phrase it, unless it's created, right? And then you're going to say, well, then what about God? Well, God doesn't need a creator. Well, then you have an exception to the rule. It cannot be everything.
Is my
But
mic
an
working
honest-
now?
Try it again.
Is my mic breaking up still?
I can hear you okay now.
Okay. All right. I was in a bad spot ago. I was going to say, I keep thinking back to the saying that there's no honest way to defend life. And I think that's pretty much covers the apologists.
Yep.
That's exactly the way I feel about them. You know.
Skeptic who asked, well, I saw this on PBS that humans and chips are 99% similar.
I don't care what you saw on PBS. I don't care what you saw on Discovery Channel about mermaids being real either. Sometimes those stories, are stories and they're clickbait and they're not always scientific. And even if they are, there's still the libraries full of information that back these things up through years of research from people around the globe. And you're not going to like it because it was on a PBS show, right?
Doesn't that prove a common ancestor? Now we can talk to that person because they are willing to listen.
Okay.
So apologetics is not a sword that we'll use to attack a full explanation for.
Oh, dang it.
What is this now?
I hit the wrong button.
Intelligent reasoning, people. This and respect. Did you know that there are lots of evidences for creation?
Evidences?
Okay, here we go.
I'm smart. I don't want to. The ventriloquist stops the show and he says, "Oh, sir, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean any offense." My colleague pipes up. He says, "You be quiet. I'm talking to that little fella on your knee."
Yeah, another bad joke.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you know that there are lots of evidences for
Here's what we
creation?
want. Okay,
Scientific evidences, but easy to understand.
okay.
And we'll be talking about these sessions 3, 4, 5, and 6. All
Oh,
about looking at just a
oh man. You're going to clickbait me through this whole video, aren't you? He's got me good. He really did. Just wait. Just wait till the next video. Oh,
few scientific evidences, understanding them.
If he
So when
says that
somebody
again,
asks us,
that's it.
You know-
If he says that again,
Where I shut my mind off is when they say evidences.
yeah.
yeah.
They would just say fucking evidence. I mean, why do they pluralize that? I mean, I've never
Yeah.
heard a professor say evidences. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's oldie English.
I guess so.
we can respond with something there. One of my favorites is the idea of fine tuning.
Oh,
The
no.
universe,
No.
all
No,
the
no.
parameters,
Oh no, he also
the
brings up
physical
the fine
forces, the
Oh,
sizes seem to be finely tuned for
Sure
the
seems that
existence
way,
of the
doesn't it?
universe and of life.
and here's our weekly Peter Atkins comment. The universe seems to be finely tuned for a lot of rocks.
tuning. Yeah, and it's not the universe fine tuning to the life; it's the life fine tuning to the universe
Yes.
or the specific location that you're in at that point.
Yeah, that's
Indeed.
the whole point of evolution.
Wait,
It's a
what?
Fine
No.
tuning implies a fine tuner. Fine tuning means
Oh, no.
someone
What is a fine tuner?
acting with plan and purpose.
Well,
And that someone, of course, is
before
an
Spotify, I
intelligent
had fine
cause,
tuner.
the omnipotent God. Fine tuning is a great evidence for creation. At the same time, argues against evolution.
So my axle
Oh, wait a
broke.
minute.
My axle broke on my car, so if an axle breaks, there has to be an axle breaker, right?
That's
Oh, that's
correct.
you.
And how is it against evolution if evolution is part of the fine tuning?
I don't see.
Right.
And
I, I honestly
it's an
don't.
argument. It's not evident. It's like that evidence is different than argument. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an argument for the possibility of design, but it's not evidence.
We're losing you again, Robin.
I know.
Gotta hold
I
your-
think.
Gotta hold your
also-
arm up in the air and stand on one leg.
Please. Also, I think, like, I don't know if you're aware of this, Mike might be, because he does a lot of this kind of thing. I don't know, fishing is evidence of fine tuner.
Ayo.
Which I like a lot. I like fine tuner.
Another evidence that I really love is information theory. Sounds scary, but it's
Really?
really simple.
Sorry, stop there, please. I've got
I
to
don't know
laugh
if we can
first.
go through this.
I've got to laugh first because this one is going to be classic. Not only does he think all scientific or his scientific theories are unfalsifiable because he includes the supernatural, he's now going to tell us about what information means in all scientific topics. Right? Bearing in mind,
Yep.
there must be at least 10 or 15 different definitions for what information
Right.
is, depending on what subject you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, so he's going to give us the single definition of all topics in science. Go ahead.
If there's information, there has to be an information maker.
Informationer, I think you'll find that is.
Informationer, yeah.
Like words on a page,
Oh.
my notes here,
Yeah.
is a
Ouch.
code. Where do codes come from?
Uh-oh.
As a computer science, computer scientist,
Stop there,
I'll
please.
tell you.
Stop there, please. Stop there, please.
Uh-oh.
As a
Yeah.
musician, I will tell you they come from a coda.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, I've got to get these dad jokes out somewhere.
And if you're enjoying all these bad jokes, don't forget to give me a like and drop a comment. Just a smiley face is great. And share it around to somebody else that might enjoy some bad jokes. Subscribe. And also, please subscribe to our friends on the panel tonight. Their links are in the description. You'll find Mike's channel and Simos. You'll find Slim Cyborg, because Brainless is often over there. And you'll find Joe's from the Kentucky Atheist. And also Robin. Robin also has a channel too. I believe it's her name. So go to Robin Webster.
Yeah, plenty of dad jokes on my channel, that's for sure.
And plenty of bad jokes over there, and dad jokes, and
No, I'm quite proud of that last one.
dated jokes, and all good.
Codes come from intelligence. Information can only come from intelligence. So let's ignore the 99% similarity but in the DNA between chimps
Stop, if you wouldn't mind stopping there.
We'll just ignore it.
Intelligence comes from an intelligenter.
Yeah.
humans. Here's a question. Where did the information come from in the beginning?
A beginning of.
Well, yeah. Well, what's he talking about in the if you already have the universe? Once again, our favorite Peter Atkins says that a simple molecule forming is information. So
there we go. Thank you. I'm glad we mentioned him. I'd forgotten to mention him, Dave. So it's information. This and this is bonded this way, right? That's information, and that's if you're going to compare it to the information in DNA, it's no different because DNA also happens to be a molecule. Yeah.
Aha. Well, we're going to investigate that. Okay, back to the question up front. So
someday, I know.
Apes.
I know. Man, he's gonna make me watch another video, isn't he? I just. Actually, I watched number 2. I did watch number 2, yeah, but all 8 of them. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do all 8 of them. I'm sorry. That's
okay. Sorry for another
too
dad
much.
joke.
That's too
coming
much.
Up. Brace yourselves, another dad joke.
All right.
So
all right.
Where does an investigate come from? A banker's house.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one.
I got all kinds of dad jokes. Yeah, you know.
That's a good one.
Dad jokes for all ages. Some call them granddad jokes in my case.
No, they're
humans.
dad jokes.
99% similar. Now we could respond by saying, "Well, what do you mean by
windmill?" Oh wait, windmill missed it. You're gonna have to repeat it there. You have to repeat it, Silas. Okay, go ahead.
Where does what was it? I've forgotten it now. Where does an investigate come from? Where does an investigate come from? A banker's house. Investigate comes from a banker's
Investigate. Heyo. All right. If you didn't get it that time, sorry. We only get one repeat.
Yeah.
that and da 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 da? But let's just go with that. Okay? And again, we could be flippant and talk about watermelons and other kinds of things. But here's another way. You can say, that's interesting, and I've read that too. And I've also read that there's lots of differences between apes and chimps. Intelligence. Oh, I don't see apes in this Bible class. Oh, sorry, don't say that. That's just pandering.
Yeah.
Intelligence,
you do see apes in that.
muscles are completely different.
No, he doesn't see them because it's digital. He doesn't see them.
Okay.
And he's
Yeah,
talking
fair
about
enough.
differences, and there are differences. And you know what else? There are also differences among the different other apes as well. Oh, how about that?
Goodness.
They're smart enough to believe in God.
Yeah, they're too smart for that. Exactly. Oh, dang it. I did it again. I do not like where they have the thing on this. Oops.
Oh my God, that tie. Please.
Yeah, I
no.
know. That's the other video.
Thank goodness.
I clicked.
And again, we could be flippant
guy
and
doesn't
talk
know
about
evolution.
watermelons and other
At
kinds
all.
of things. But here's
No.
another way. You can say, that's interesting, and I've read that too. And I've also read that there's lots of differences between apes and chimps.
Yes.
Intelligence. Oh, I don't see apes in this Bible class. Oh, sorry, don't say that. That's just pandering.
And that's bad argument.
Intelligence.
Robin already shot it down.
Muscles are completely different. Habitat.
What?
The lack of
What?
land.
Habitat's exactly the same. We both live on the earth. What are you talking about?
Muscles. We are apes. There's no difference. We are apes. So what's the difference? I mean, it might be different between us and chimp or gorillas or orangutans or bonobo, but we're all apes. So there's no difference between us and apes.
Yeah. And when you look at especially like in the bonobo, their muscles structure looks very, very much like somebody that's a human. It's I don't know. Sure, there's small changes because the arm length and legs and just there are some differences, but
is I believe is the closest to us of all apes.
Some of them look like.
Also one of the. I also believe the most intelligent.
Yeah.
We share equal amounts of DNA with chimps and bonobos.
Yeah. And they look like somebody that spends a lot of time in the gym. I mean, they look ripped, and so some small differences, but I see a lot of similarities.
The fact is, it's quite recent that they know that the bonobo is a different species than the chimp.
Yeah.
At first, they thought it was one species.
Chimps,
yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I see Mike stroking his cat like that, I think he's going to put out a hit on somebody.
No, he's going to take over the world.
Next time.
He's going to take over the world. He's waiting for Bond to show up.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Bond. I've been expecting you.
I was thinking more.
Be more like, good evening, Sal. I've been expecting you.
Do you expect me to talk, Mr. Mike? No, I expect you to convert.
Sal put Mike's name and Jay Bundy's name in a safe deposit box in case anything happened to him.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd be the prime suspect. Anyway, I wanted to put Snack on camera because he very seldom. It's the other two that always get on camera. So
there's Snack. All right.
Snack. Snack.
Snack behaving?
Yep. No. He's an asshole. He's like a real bad kitty.
Is that the one that couldn't stay out of the vents?
Yeah. And he's into everything, and he harasses the other cats. I keep having to waterboard him, which is a combination of waterboard and water bottle. So I waterboard him, and he's getting freaked out now because I'm saying it. Oh, you're okay, Snack. I'm not going to waterboard you today. Anyway, yeah, this is Snack.
Well, yeah, as you see by the change in tie there, it's almost to the end there. So.
I'm so
He
glad.
changed his bow tie?
Really correct.
No, well, I had another video. I always have extra just in case,
okay.
But like I said, any of these extras I have, if I'm ever short something some week, we can always go back because almost everybody we've covered, I've got extra videos for.
Yeah.
So we can just ask, people who was a favorite or something, and we can review them or something like that. So I always have extra. I don't want to have too little, so I've always got extra.
There was one guy that I enjoyed doing. I can't remember who it was exactly. It's not this guy though.
If it comes to mind, just drop me an email, Simo. So I'll make a note. I'll make a note of it.
There was this guy that I enjoyed doing, but that's a different story.
Hey yo.
Hey.
I think I have to do this one.
But you know what?
Giggity giggity.
You're right. There are some similarities also. But rather than showing evolution, I believe that these similarities show a common
designer. Oh, Hawaiian shirt guy.
Apes
you have
and
no
humans
proof.
have some similarities.
Yeah.
It's your opinion.
They were both created by an omnipotent God. As a master designer and engineer, God reused things that worked well. For example, DNA. All life that we know of is based on DNA. It's a great and marvelous thing to use.
Yes, and it can change.
I'm going to point out that this is just all a confusing mess for me. Seriously. I've said it before. If you're a god, why do you have to make all these intricate things sitting at your workbench with your zircon encrusted tweezers, meticulously making all these systems? I mean, when you can just give it this magical spirit breath thing and put it inside some skin, right? Yeah. There's no reason for all the intricacy. I think that the complexity is counter to a god or a so-called magic spell, just giving people life, the breath of life, your soul, whatever you want to call it. If it's just all supernatural, just put a layer of skin over that supernatural thing. And there's no point to have nerves and arteries and all. And it seems to me that is a bad argument. Yeah,
the complicated gene. And not only that, but when you go from one animal to the next, if you decide to use the same gene, this omnipotent God is too lazy to create a new gene. If he uses the same one, he writes it down with a pencil that's obviously dull because he makes all these copy errors between the two species, even though the gene does exactly the same thing. Even creates the same protein in some cases. So I mean, why does that point to a designer? It doesn't.
Yeah, and why give us a gene for vitamin C that's turned off?
Yeah. There you go.
Also, if it pointed to a designer, it would have to be an incompetent designer at that.
Yeah, a lazy one. You just say, "Oh, I've already done this, so I'm just going to use this," but I'm going to write it down with a dull pencil because there's going to be some mutations.
And isn't that the same exact argument they were using against Haeckel?
Yeah,
that because he dared to reuse a little bit of the prints and fudge it a little bit. See, that's not worthy. He's being lazy. Well, there you go.
and also, why did the designer make a nerve that just needed to be very short? Go down your whole neck, and in a human, that's not that big of a problem. But giraffes have the same nerve, and it goes the same route down the neck and then back up again.
Right. Which is fully explained if you just stretch an animal out. It's not explained by design, or like somebody already mentioned, that's a poor designer. And if you go to the extinction rate on this planet, you can also point out that the design seems to be very poor. Why, again, when you could have just made some spirit things with fur on feathers on them or whatever, you went through all this time to create this species at the workbench with the zircon encrusted tweezers, only to have it go extinct as part of your plan. Okay.
And if you wanted God to be this exceptional animal, why would you make him so that pig organs fit in him?
And
Right.
also, it's an argument that Slim brings up quite often. Like, he created us, so like it's kind of like we're like his computer game or something. But
Yeah.
why does he make it so that like some players don't even make it to the first level?
Yeah.
Some people don't get born.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about abortion. I'm talking about babies that people really, really, really want that don't get born. Like that makes no sense.
Well, 1/4 of fertilized eggs are spontaneously aborted anyway.
Okay,
Yeah,
you broke up, but say that again, Robin.
She said quite what, a quarter of the eggs are spontaneously aborted, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I was going to bring that up. So, like, estimates are sometimes as high as 50% of these little souls, these little creations, right, die before anybody even knows they're pregnant. So, what the hell's up with that?
I don't remember which state it is, but like, it's that they want to make it homicide
yeah.
and
Oh,
give
yeah.
you the death penalty
Hey,
for it.
jungle jargon stopping through.
Wow.
And asking, so you admit to genetic entropy? No, genetic entropy is something creationists made up. It doesn't actually exist. Okay.
Yeah, jungle. Talk about making stuff up. It's jungle jargon.
Yeah.
How's your theory of flight going for birds?
Oh, he's got a theory of flight? Really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah, oh yeah. He had one. I don't think it's current anymore though.
Yeah, take another toke there, Jungle Jargon.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Hello, jungle jargon.
Jungle jargon saying hello back. Thanks for stopping by.
Haven't
Yep.
seen you for a while. actually, Jungle Jargon.
I hope you're doing well anyway, whatever
Yeah.
the differences may have been.
We're building like this cathedral I'm in, you wouldn't throw all your plans and ideas away every time you built a new one.
If
An
you're
architect
omnipotent,
will
you could.
reuse those ideas that work well.
And this again, the ideas that work well argument. What, if this design is so great, then why do you have internal skeletons, exoskeletons, species with no skeletons? It doesn't seem like there is a best design. It seems more
No, but
suited
also, if you're-
to its environment. Yeah.
Why even make so many features? Why not just make humans and maybe some pets and some other nice animals?
Yeah, a couple dogs and a cow, and
leave
right.
out the murderous animals.
Well, also, like, we're talking about an omniscient, all-powerful being, right? Why would they need? Why would it need to? Why couldn't it just create everything from scratch every time? It's no extra bother. Let's face it. And Jungle Jargon says it wasn't me that said that. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry, Jungle Jargon, if I got you confused.
Okay.
Maybe it was Arcane Logos or
maybe it was Nephilim.
or True Empiricism. Maybe one of those two.
Okay.
Nephilim
Yeah,
came
we got
up
that
with
cleared
the
up.
Bukaki moon, right?
Yeah,
Nephi.
Nephilim was the moon, Bukaki theory. Yeah.
Yep.
Why are there similarities among apes and humans? We have a common
Descended.
creator, God. We were
Ancestors.
both created to live in a common environment. We
Right,
breathe
but aren't
air,
we
we
special?
drink water.
Now wait a minute.
We're
He
supposed
just
to be
said we're
special.
designed to live in a common environment, but he said earlier something about
We didn't, yeah.
apes live in a different environment than humans. So he contradicted himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
but,
we're
like,
God's special
even-
little creation. Why in the hell would he make apes or other
Yeah.
apes? Chimpanzee.
But
Why
also-
would he do that?
But also, like the environment, like the other different kinds of apes than us also
Yeah.
live all in different environments.
Why would he need to do that?
So the fact that he says we live in different environments than the apes Yeah, they live also in multiple different environments.
When he quoted Stephen Hawking earlier, Stephen Hawking also said something like, "We're just primates on a tiny rock still throwing our poo at each other." So
If I were God, I would have created just humans, cats, and bacon.
I mean, yes, we in the last so many years, technology and domination of the globe, so to speak. Yes, humans have achieved that, but for a long time, we were just running around with all the other animals. The high and mighty thing, yes, we can look at ourselves as that now, and we have it pretty good. Most of us, especially in some of the more industrialized countries, you have it pretty good, right? You got a roof over your head, you have some food and everything. Wasn't always like that. So.
Darwinian man, though well behaved, is nothing but a monkey shaved.
Exactly. Yes.
Those erogenous retroviruses would blow this dude's mind.
Yes.
He doesn't have any concept of evolution. You can tell he doesn't. That's why he doesn't argue against it, because he doesn't even know it. But I will respect him on that, though. Instead of making up like these, straw men of evolution, he's not done that too much yet. And, a lot of them pretend they know it, and they'll straw man it like severely.
He just denies it as foolish. He just says, it's foolish, and he just hand waves it. So
he don't even understand it enough to make a straw man of it.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a hand waver. I think we had one last week too. It was just a hand waver. It's just, you've got all this evidence. Well, I just don't like it, so just wave it away.
And one day, we go over some really stupid shit. The guy that we're covering now, he's bound to lower your IQ.
Yeah, we got a critic in the chat there.
Jungle jargon.
For how long have you been watching? 5 seconds?
Hey, I appreciate you watching.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe hang around a little longer.
One day of Martian.
Maybe you'll learn something.
My IQ is being lowered looking at this channel.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it goes,
Which channel is possible?
Hey, well, I wanted to point out, I did have it on my mind. I wanted to point out, I made a short, and I got some criticism for it. Somebody said that it wasn't funny. They didn't like how I did my short. I think it was the one on Jim Bob. And then I had somebody else, though, that said, thank you so much, Captive Desk. I really needed the laugh. Something like you made my day or something like that. So, that's just how it goes. Some folks just aren't going to like your videos. They're not going to get your jokes. They're not going to appreciate the humor behind it or anything. And I'm sorry. Other people got my joke. And so there you go. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate that I made somebody's day that needed a good laugh. And so there you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can't please all the people all the time, Dave.
Hey, that's right. And I understand that. And I understand that my channel's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. I also have some very loyal subscribers, and I appreciate them too. They give me feedback. They drop comments. They stop by, they say hi, they support the channel. So, you have your fans and you have your not fans. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah. Lots of commonality there.
Yeah. Good. We can agree on that.
Yep.
My hope and prayer is over the next 8 weeks, 7 now, since we're getting near the end.
Weeks?
Of the
8 weeks.
You'll be equipped.
I thought we were going to be out of here by 8 a.m.
Why creation is a reasonable idea for origin.
I mean, come on
what
now,
I mean by
man.
reasonable?
Hang on a second. Hang on. Come on now. I mean, 8 weeks. I mean, God created the world and the universe in 6 days, and you're talking 8 weeks?
Yeah, right.
And look, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but there's a lot of repeats in his, his stuff. So
No shit, Sherlock.
I think he could have. He probably could have done it in 4.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay,
Reasonable
well,
in its
At
sense.
least he doesn't talk like a snail. Like he talks at a decent pace. Could still be a bit faster, but like this is not one you have to speed up.
He is a little older, and he's been doing it for a while. He's got some videos where he had more color in his hair and stuff. So yeah, he has been doing it for a while. And there is a bunch of videos, but yeah, going through all 8 of his videos, I don't think there's no way, because I had enough trouble just going through.
Different bow ties.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, he went to a different tie in the other one. Let me see where we're at here.
It's logical. It makes sense.
it's logical. It makes sense. There you go.
Yeah, see.
Tie.
Listen fully. Now, when they're done presenting their case, be sure to ask clarifying questions. What do you mean by that? Oh, I don't understand. What does this mean?
Yeah.
So the first thing we
Let's see, that's similar to what he was just saying in this video. He does a lot of the same things.
You would think if he's been doing this so long, he would have better arguments than this, really.
I don't know if there are better arguments, to be fair.
I know.
They all have their little their
At least he
script
said
to stick to.
questions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's most of them
In
say
Genesis-
don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Don't rely on your own understanding.
He just doesn't like the answers people give him, though.
Yeah.
says we have God's first revelation concerning himself. In Genesis, we have the beginning of all things. Genesis answers 1,000 questions for which we would have no answer.
None of which
were
science
it not
No.
for this book. Genesis is the very foundation of our Bible, and all that follows has its roots deeply
Stand up, Ron,
embedded in
look.
this first revelation of God to man. Absolutely. Genesis, creation, is foundational.
Yep.
What's
gives
the
one
purpose of
answer.
apologetics? Yes, to answer, not a sword to attack, but to
He's still got me hanging on the edge.
Yeah.
He's still. What is
He's still
apologetic?
defining it.
What are you at? 43 minutes in. I think this video is like 45 minutes or something.
I
Okay,
just
at
want
the
to
end,
point out-
43 minutes, and he's asking again, what is apologetics? And that's supposed to be the this is apologetics lesson video. And all I've got from him is that he just said apologetics comes from apologia, which I already knew. And
Yeah. I mean,
for 43 minutes, it took him to say, if you believe in evolution, you're foolish because the Bible says so.
I don't think.
Oh,
well,
and he makes some
the
really
Bible
stupid
does.
jokes.
The Bible doesn't say that.
And some jokes. Yeah, we'll give him a
And-
couple
Some bad
jokes.
jokes.
The Bible
And,
doesn't. Sorry, go ahead, Robin.
And he said that the Bible answers all these questions. Okay, it gives one answer for every question. It says God did it. It doesn't say how he did it. It doesn't say what, it doesn't say, I guess it somewhat tries to tell why, but it doesn't say how he did it. It doesn't give any kind of process that he used to do all this. It just gives that same answer for like every question. So, you can't count that as answering 1,000 questions when you use the same answer for every question.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Well, he hints at a process. He says basically God had a bunch of genes laying around, and it's like, okay, I already used that one, so I'm going to use it again.
But the Bible don't mention genes, so it's weird how God
No, they
left
don't.
all that shit out.
Well,
he just used like mud and spit and stuff.
Well, apparently he's got parts bins, and he has to use what he has in the parts
Ribs.
bins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ribs. Let them
Yeah.
ribs are very
There
important.
you go.
Yeah, that's also like why whales, their fins have 5 fingers inside, bones for 5 fingers, and not
Yeah.
just one plate, right?
Yep.
Like if I would make that, I would not put bones in there that would look like fingers. I'd make it a whole plate or something like that.
Just look at a banana.
Yeah.
Just look at the banana.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I point out
That's made
fingerprints.
specifically for your hand.
Yeah.
If we're designed, then what is the best design for grip? Because we haven't figured it out. That's why our fingerprints are all different, because that's why you have fingerprints, is for grip, right?
Yeah.
And we do not have a designed grip. Some people can actually grip better than others, even if you have the same size hand and everything. Now, it might not be on a measurable amount, but technically, yeah, everybody's heard your fingerprints are all different. Your fingerprints are giving you grip. There is no designed grip. God has not figured it out. It's totally relying on, well, if you got it good enough, that's good enough. That's not a design.
If it were a common designer, you think he would have had
Babies
like
have good
10,
grips.
10 fingerprints, right?
Yeah.
And give, I'm going to reuse this one and reuse that one. It sure would have saved me a whole lot of trouble in my youth if they didn't have these goddamn individual fingerprints.
And imagine him at the workbench with the zircon encrusted tweezers making them dang fingerprints. I mean, you'd think, they'd be, I'm sick of making fingerprints. I cannot make one more set of fingerprints, right? Yeah, it's like making the snowflakes, right? It's like, oh man, why'd I ever get this idea for snow? And I got to make all these dang snowflakes, right?
Yeah. All fields, as in the Douglas Adam Hitchhiker's Guide, right? The guy that makes the fields.
Answer the honest.
Okay, Robin.
Skeptic. The ultimate reason is to point to Christ. The only legitimate reason for apologetics is to point to Christ.
Why?
Christian apologetics. Once again, there's apologetics for other religions.
Does he even know it's a Greek word?
He did say what it was earlier. Yeah, he did say that it's apology and
can't be the only meaning then, can it?
Yeah, it's something about what it means to something with knowledge, to gain knowledge,
something with knowledge,
answer with knowledge, or something like that. Yeah,
speak in defense of an accusation.
Yeah, Robin's phone was dying. I heard you say it. Thanks for stopping by, Robin. You're always welcome to stop by.
Yeah,
hey, Dave, I'm kind of dying.
CPR.
Yeah, we're done here. He's at the end. Like I say, he's going to change his outfits here. So, I was just going to say, Robin, you can come back. We try to be here every Saturday, and that goes for everybody else that's been in the chat. And, even folks that don't agree with us, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you dropping some comments. And, as long as we can all be civil, we can disagree.
Yeah, that's
no problem.
I want to say everybody that was here and that was civil and decent.
That's right.
I hope you have a great
they were good
week ahead of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Joke Friday. Thank you, Jungle Jargon.
Yeah, Jungle Jargon cleared something up for me that's just been killing me. I've been looking at my evolutionary textbooks. Levi had a descendant called Aaron, who is a progenitor of the Cohen modal haplotype, identifying the IgA lineage of Arphaxad. I was wondering about that. Thank you.
Oh, what?
Excellent. And thank you, C.
I didn't
Wind
know.
as well. C. Wind even.
Yeah. Seawind was in here.
Cohen the Barbarian.
And and even one day a Martian who was kind of harsh. Appreciate the comment. And we can take the criticism here. We're not thin-skinned like some people that can dish it out but can't seem to take it. We're not like that here. So no worries.
No, I can take quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you were.
And the person's name is Jim Bob. You're a big coward and a weenie, Jim Bob. You can dish it out, but you can't take it, Jim Bob. And it was Jim Bob. That's what I meant to say about it, Jim Bob. So I don't know why I was hitting around. It's you, Jim Bob. I'm talking about you, Jim Bob. Got that, Jim Bob? All right.
Jim Bob. Yeah.
Jim Bob. Eggplant. So, well, once again, we tried. This is not our. Go ahead.
I'm not impressed with this guy overall. He seems like a lovely gentleman. Once again, he's not being offensive. He's not sitting there saying everybody's stupid. He's saying to other Christians, ask questions, think, use reason, read you, even if it's guided by the Bible. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinions. I wish him nothing but the best. However, you misunderstand evolution in a major way, and as usual, that's
physics and naturalism.
And physics as well, presumably.
And you got to remember that this
geology,
guy is teaching young people this crap.
And if you are indeed a computer scientist, oh dear. Please stop using floppies and update your system.
Oh, the floppy disk.
I think he has piqued the curiosity with us and Mike and Joe as well. We might go looking around at some of his computer stuff and
we might
see if we can figure that out. So we may revisit him, or it may come up on Mike or Joe's channel or something. We'll see.
And there's this other guy here, what is his name? Pastor Bob NCC. Sexual sin have you bound? He has some interesting things to say.
Oh boy,
juicy. We might go over him next week.
I like that.
Spicy.
Sexual sin.
I like
It's pretty spicy. Well, he says that when you have intercourse, a demon can transfer through intercourse from one person to another. I did not know that. I thought
that's the mistake I've been making.
I always called that the clap. I didn't know it was a demon. Anyway, he is a lot of fun. We'll have to review him.
That's on his channel too.
Yeah. Section. No, not Bowtie. This is a new guy. This is Pastor Bob of North Carolina. NCC.
Is that the one you got here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sexual sin have you bound?
Question mark.
Oh, okay.
He's got a wonderful little thing. He's pretty cool. Anyway.
Yeah, I like the fact he's got his Bible on top of his porno bike magazines.
Does he really?
Same
difference. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's in a bike shop, working on things and talking about evolution and sexual sin and demons.
I'm just looking at that bike. I mean, I kind of recognize it. The shape of the tank, it kind of looks familiar. That's all.
Yeah, send that to the link to me, Mike.
Okay, I'll do a copy here and give it to you. I'll put it in the group chat.
Okay.
The group, whatever. Where the hell are we? Oh, there we are.
Yeah, and like he repeatedly said, he does have more of these. I did have another one. I was saying I like to have too much than not enough material here, on Saturday nights. So I always have some extra from them just in case. And we can always revisit some of these folks. As I was saying earlier, I always have extra content on these folks. So, if there's any of the favorites that we've covered, let me know in the comments, and, maybe we'll revisit a fan favorite or anything. We're pushing like about 20 weeks we've been doing this now.
Really?
So, I think it was 15. So we're over 15, I think. So we're getting, there's going to be quite a few of them. So yeah, if you've got a fan favorite you'd like us to revisit, let me know in the comments and we can go back on them. Otherwise, yeah, we've got plenty of material on some of these folks. And I know a couple of us have some favorites, and I see that our friend Patrick Peace has been busy, and the guy that said he's from the Ukraine has been busy too. They're too busy to talk to us. Yep. Wesley. Hey, Wesley. There's
Wesley.
they're too busy to talk to us, but they're not too busy to put out content talking about us.
Too true. I love your latest piece there, up Wesley. Snowflake. It's very nice. Snowflake number 2, I think it was. Very nice. Go ahead.
No, you're all right. I was just saying, but as far as this video, I'd say we're at the end of this video anyways, so we're just gonna call it there. Very disappointing. With the bad jokes and everything, give you that. I've got another guy that has got some bad jokes too, so that one's in the queue when we need to watch something on Saturday. So don't be thinking this was the end of the bad jokes or anything, because I've got another one. I've already nicknamed him Bad Jokes. So, and he laughs at himself when he does them too. He thinks he's really funny. So that'll be a good
man
one.
after my own heart.
Yeah, he really has a good chuckle on his jokes. He's, I guess he's kind of given an apologetics lesson too. But I try to look at the apologetics lessons and these different videos that are kind of addressed to like things you're supposed to know, right? And if you're going to discuss these things, that maybe you're supposed to know these things. So that's why I kind of throw in these. This is 2 or 3 apologetics videos we looked at now. Just, trying to get what the other side is saying and talking about, what their arguments are. I didn't see any very good arguments with this video, but we try to give you the benefit that you're going to come up with a decent argument. So we keep trying. A little disappointing. I didn't have high expectations. Of course, I've seen the video. I don't go into these blind. I've watched them, so I knew what I was in for. But as we've said, you kind of like this guy, right? He's kind of likable, and again, we're not being personal here. We ain't got nothing against this guy. He wasn't.
What's the omnibar?
Don't ask, Mike.
What?
It's basically it's like a place.
Yeah.
Do you know what bisexuals are, Mike?
What is?
Bisexuals. It's a place where they go to drink. An omnibar.
Oh, that's an omnibar?
Yeah,
Okay.
You can have anything you want there.
Okay, cool. I
You
like
can
omnibar.
have anything you want at Alice's restaurant, except for Alice.
Oh, I gotta go.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike, for joining. Thanks, Simos. Thanks, Brainless. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Robin. I think I'm Scott. Thanks, Scott. Everybody for stopping through. Mike might have an idea for next week, so we'll see. So maybe we'll get a little Randy here at the Saturday night at the Atheist. So
You want to find out about demons transferring through your dick? So because
it's tempting. It's tempting.
Okay, I'm gonna leave, guys.
I'm gonna have to dress up for that one.
Okay, don't forget to subscribe over at Mike over at Answers in Atheism. Link is in the description. Simos Funk, link in the description. Joe at the Kentucky Atheist, link in the description. And Brainless is often over with, I go this way. Brainless is often over Slim Cyborg, link in the description. Robin Webster was here. Robin Webster's channel, I believe, is Robin Webster. Make sure you go over to Robin Webster and subscribe over there too. Don't forget to subscribe here as well. Appreciate everybody that stopped through. We had a lot of people, and we're drawing some other people in. That's good to see. I know somebody said something about echo chamber, but we're welcoming folks in. We try to be civil with everybody, and some believers are stopping through the chat, and you're welcome. We can agree to disagree here at the Captive Desk and at Saturday Night at the Atheists. All right. And with that, thank you, everybody. Go
May
ahead.
your
Thanks
God,
for having us.
thank you,
Any-
and may your God go with you.
All right. Anything else going on you guys want to mention? Any plugging?
Nah.
No?
I'm too tired for that.
Too
Yeah.
tired to plug, huh?
Come over to my channel for dad jokes. I'll try and do as many as I can.
All right. There you go. There's a promise. We're going to hold you to it. All right. And everybody have a good night, a good morning, wherever you are in the world. Have a good whatever time of day you're having. And with that, we will close this out, and we'll see you next time here at Saturday Night at the Atheists.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Without a sound, history speaks in tales of lore, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk, hold our dreams where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at